We are now live. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Bohn and Zano Zone podcast. We got a really exciting episode tonight.
Justin, welcome, and guest on the screen, the legend Chuck Gardner. Chuck, how are you, pal?
I'm awesome, man. I'm excited about tonight.
This is going to be a good one. This is going to be our best one yet. This had a lot of buzz today, a lot of shares across the internet. So we're looking to have a good one. We're trying to make this just like the NFL draft.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a huge watch party. I know I'm excited about this.
Yes.
And it definitely had a lot of buzz on social media today with that promo.
Yeah, this definitely kind of boosted up my weekend, Justin.
Oh, yeah, all day.
So you know what? I'm going to say it right off the bat. I think Chuck would like to hear this one. So Friday night, I left Justin's house. I saw Parker. I was over at Parker's. We were, social distancing, talking, and, just chilling and hanging out. So the missus and I, we decided to go home, obviously, and we're driving down the Parkway in Jersey. We're about a half a mile from the exit, and my brand new 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee decided to hit a deer on the Parkway. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So we had a little bit of a rough weekend, and this is definitely going to boost my spirits and not make me think about my brand new car that's in a tow yard right now.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, so it was a rough one, but this is going to boost it, and this is going to be a good night. We have a lot of guests tonight. We have a lot of celebrities stopping by, and so we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, we can guarantee Amleto Monicelli, coach of the Las Vegas High Rollers, will be on after the draft, so stay tuned for that.
Yep.
It's definitely going to be a big one.
And rumor is that there's a GOAT stopping by sometime tonight as well.
I heard that. I heard there might be a Billy Goat on the show.
I heard Walter Ray.
I heard Walter Ray maybe stopping by tonight as well, with a couple other surprises. We got a full plate of surprises for everybody tonight.
So our first surprise, Chuck, we will actually see you in about 10 or 15 minutes. Mike?
So we have an announcement to make, Justin. I guess I'm just going to go right into it.
Go for it.
So
let's introduce our guest first.
You want to introduce the guest first?
You want to go ahead?
Yeah. So
right.
We are going to introduce a gentleman from Connecticut, a good friend of yours. He became a buddy of mine yesterday. We finally met him for the first time. Would like to introduce the ball doctor, the great owner, president of BuddiesProShop.com, Chris Forey.
Hi, guys.
And Chris, welcome to the zone. How are you?
I'm doing great. Congratulations on the success of your show so far.
Thank you.
Happy to be with you.
And Chris is sporting his Packy shirt. It looks like we know who he's pulling for tonight.
I got to pull for my boy, It's nice.
He's got to.
Yeah. My other two guys are in. Peppy, hopefully he gets in too. But I know Packy, I feel like he's got the best chance of getting in.
Definitely. So Justin, I'm going to go right into it if you don't mind, all right? So
go right ahead.
We started this maybe about 5 or 6 months ago, Justin and I, doing the zone. And baby steps right off the bat. We just spoke our mind about different topics, and we've kind of escalated from there. So the big news we have with the guests and our audience and popularity is growing. We want to thank everybody for the support. So everybody, thank you very much for all the support and the sharing across social media. And with that being said, we have other things on the horizon. So it is our honor. As of Tuesday, we have officially acquired BuddiesProShop.com as our title sponsor for the show. We are extremely excited to be partnered with Chris and all of his staff up in Connecticut, and it's a great step for our show to grow. It's a great opportunity for his organization, for his company, and we have Chris on board now. I'm going to do this, Chris, because I think it's fitting. I am ready. And we are excited to bring you on board. Thank you very much for your generosity. And let's just have at it a little bit. What did you see in us? I mean, tell us.
Well, like I talked to you guys yesterday on the phone. First of all, I like that Justin, obviously been a part of the family here for 6-7 years. I like that he has an idea what he wants to do with his life and his future direction. I know he's been wanting to do this for a while. We talked about it back around Christmas time. And I'm here to support him. I think it's a good thing you guys are doing. I love the guests you're getting on. So it's a great content for our company to share in. And looking forward to working with you guys and just, seeing how far you guys can take this. I just think this is just the beginning for you guys. And I think as everything keeps going along, you guys are going to be one of the best ones out there. And you're learning every time. That's what I've learned when I've done live streams. You learn as you go.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
And we do want to announce that our next show on Tuesday at 6 o'clock, we will have special guest Chris Forey and none other than the guy on his shirt, Packy Hanrahan.
Yeah, it's going to be a buddies week, basically. So Packy and Chris will be with us on Tuesday at 6. And tentatively, we are working on our other guest for Thursday, Justin.
Yeah, we'll leave him nameless for the time being, but we'll definitely have another Buddies Pro Shop staffer in the zone on Thursday.
He swims in the water if you want to figure out who we're talking about.
There you go. Yeah. And the Packy shirt wasn't warm because you guys were going to have him on Tuesday. I had no idea that.
Oh no. Packy's warm because you want him drafted in the league.
Yeah, I haven't talked to the boys today, so.
And Mike, go ahead.
But we are looking forward to everything. This is a really good step for us. We want to be the big name out there in this internet show podcast world. So a lot of good things on the horizon for us. And tonight is really one of those steps. I think that we can just take the step and move forward. We have about a dozen or so guests lined up for tonight. A lot of good content. So we are ready for tonight and ready for the future. So we're ready to take this thing and just roll it down the road.
So thank you, Chris. We're going to bring back on Chuck.
And there he is.
So before we get into
anything,
thanks, Chris, for coming on as a sponsor, bud. That's awesome for these guys.
Like I said, I think they do great stuff. I've been watching the shows, and it was the right time. So
that's awesome.
Thank you. So
yes.
There's a lot of exciting things going on about the draft, but before we get into the draft, we'll talk about that around 7 o'clock. Chuck, we want to talk to you about Bowl4Life and what you guys do down there.
Ha. Yeah. Well, listen, we what we do is just absolutely have a great time helping kids get excited about going to college, and we want kids to go to college and enjoy the bowling experience at college, and get a great education, and that's what we do. We have scholarships running year round. We have one going on right now. They can go to the Bowl4Life page, and the essay is pretty cool. If you ran bowling, what would your three initiatives to be to enhance the sport? What three things would you do to make the sport better? And we've got some really neat ones already, really creative. But our thing is about helping kids go to college, and we're going to give. Last year we gave away 60. How many? 62,000. Deb. 60-some thousand last year. 67,000 last year, and this year we're going to give away $100,000 in scholarships.
Fantastic.
So,
kudos to you guys down there. Yeah. Absolutely.
Thanks, man. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. We certainly couldn't do it without all the support of the industry. Obviously Brunswick is a huge support of it. Storm, Logo Infusion, everybody. It's just so great that we have so much support from the bowling industry, and it's a neat situation because every dollar that we raise, we get to give in scholarships. Every dollar. There's not a single dollar taken out for anything except for scholarships for the kids. Everything to do with running the foundation, everything to do with purchasing gear. This Bowl4Life jersey is available. You can order it from Logo Infusion. But the money that you pay for this jersey, the entire amount goes to the Bowl4Life Foundation for the kids to go to college. My wife and I have been very blessed in life, and we fund that out of our home checkbook. And but we're always looking for some sponsors. So, Chris, if you decide down the road that you want to get involved in the Bowl4Life Foundation, man, we are ready, willing, and able to work with Buddies Pro Shop. That's for sure.
You heard it here first.
It's funny is I've been listening to you here, and I think we can talk.
Good.
There we go.
I'd love to. The one thing that we talked about in the very beginning before we ever got going is that we wanted to break down every barrier there's ever been in bowling. Okay, so people did things with their brand and with their philosophy of donating and things like that, and we did not want to have that. I was very I talked to Brunswick in the very beginning when we were starting the foundation. They were 100% supportive of us bringing other brands involved. We talked to the other jersey companies. We talked to Logo Infusion, was our first jersey sponsor, but they encouraged us to have High Five Gear be part of it. Cool Wick is part of our foundation, and everybody works together for the common good of the kids. And so we didn't want to make it about a one brand or favor a different brand from it just wasn't that way. And we just don't want it to be about that. And we're really fortunate because we do have a lot of players. Larry, how are you doing, buddy? We have a lot of players that actually wear the Bowl4Life logo on their jersey now. Parker Bohn does, Walter Ray does, M. Leto does, Bob Learn, Matt Kuba. I'm kind of drawing a little bit of a blank, but there's quite a number of PBA stars that wear the Bowl4Life logo on their jersey, and it's something that we're really proud of, and we're really we just love what we do with the foundation.
It's great stuff, Chuck. Will you be at the Parker tournament again this summer, if God willing, if we have one?
I hope we do. I hope we have the tournament, and the only way I won't be is if the schedule, for the PBA tour conflicts somehow, because we don't have any idea when the PBA is going to be now. And they're looking at dates, and hopefully by then they're bowling again, the PBA or PWBA. So if one of those were conflicting with the date, I probably wouldn't be able to be there. But hopefully Bowl4Life would still have representation there. So we want to be there as a foundation to support Parker's event and be part of it.
Yeah, so Mike, thank you for actually bringing that up. I do want to announce, we've actually announced this on our last couple of shows, but we definitely have a lot more people watching live right now. We want to announce the 21st annual Parker Bohn III Junior Scholarship Tournament, Labor Day weekend this year, September 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, a 4-day weekend event, our first one ever. We're going to go
awesome
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
We will be there. And little trivia for you. Who led the qualifying in the first ever Parker Bohn Scholarship Tournament?
I know the answer to this. Someone else know the answer?
This guy.
No. Is that right?
That is right. I led qualifying the first year of his tournament. The second year, we had a smaller field, but we had Alex Cavagnaro in the field. John Van Hees in the field. We had O'Grady in the field. We had about 4 or 5 national titleists now in that field. And just from what it was 20 years ago to what it is today, it is unbelievable the strides that the Bohn family made. So I can't wait for it. I was there last year. I backed out of the dunk tank, as we know, thank God. But it's a great weekend, and I'm hoping that we can just lift the ban and we are able to go to Howell Lanes and just celebrate the weekend with everybody down there.
Yeah, it was
we
definitely.
We got to do some live streaming that weekend too. You and I did. It was fun.
That's where we first met down there, and Chuck kind of met me on Friday. He kind of looked at me like, "Yeah, this guy's like a bowling groupie a little bit." And then when we started talking, and Chuck realized I wasn't like a weirdo, and we had a good time. We had a lot of fun that weekend.
A bowling groupie.
Oh yeah, they exist. You know what I'm talking about.
I've heard.
Yeah, there's some of them out there.
Yeah, they didn't have them when I was relevant. So
we're hoping that we're up and running here in Jersey, and we can have the tournament over the weekend. And hopefully, you're here to join us, Chuck. Definitely,
absolutely. And if you don't mind, Justin, I'd like to just throw out there the dates for the Bowl4Life event.
Go for it.
We're on the Bowl4Life tournament will be Halloween weekend, October 30th, 31st, and November 1st. In Gastonia, North Carolina again. Hopefully we'll have another Halloween party and do some crazy things again. So that'll be in October. So keep your ears open for that. Obviously, Parker's event is before it, but 2 months later, we'll be having the Bowl4Life tournament. Look at you, Justin.
And Chuck, I'll tell you this, and I said this to you last year, and I'll offer it again. Any help you need, if you want to do any kind of live streaming or anything, would love to take the ride down to North Carolina for the weekend. So my hands are for you that weekend. If you need anything, you know where to find me. You got my number. Give me a call.
Awesome. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was definitely a great time last year at your event. I remember bringing all the live stream equipment down, bringing the banners down, helping with the scores. It was definitely a great time last year.
I wouldn't mind taking a road trip to North Carolina with Parker. Just going to throw that one out there.
We don't have room in our car, Mike.
I wouldn't want to drive him anyway. I'll follow you guys. 2 hours a week in the league is enough for me with this guy. No, but all kidding aside, any help you need for that event, Chuck, I'm here for you, 110%.
Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about tonight. What's going to happen tonight? I mean, this is the big deal here. So I'll let my colleague here take over. He's more versed in this than I am. So what do you think's going to happen with these first picks tonight?
So actually, someone asked a question in the chat: who we think will be the first pick. I have my opinion. I'll go last. Chuck, you've been keeping your eye on this. You've got first sight about being a tour rep and the whole 9 yards. You're out there every day. Who do you think will be the first pick from Amleto?
I think it would be really hard for the first pick to not be. Do I get one, or do I get to say it's going to be one of the two?
Go with one of the two.
Okay. I think it would either be Francois Lavoie or Dick Allen.
Oh,
I think one of those will be the very first pick, because when you look at Amleto's personality, you know, he's very calm. He's very sort of cerebral, very quiet. He doesn't say a whole lot. So I think he's gonna pick somebody that is going to fit his personality a little bit. So I think one of those two guys would probably be the guy.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right, Mike, you want to go ahead?
I'll give you one of the two. I'm going to agree with Chuck and say Frankie Lavoie will be one of them. But in talking earlier, before we came on camera, I kind of like Chuck's philosophy about the lefty. And he always bowls well in the building. So I would say if it's not Frankie Lavoie, I would say Simonelli.
Okay. All right. Interesting one. I like the lefty idea. I think every team should definitely have a lefty.
Yeah.
I think it makes it.
And he's always bowled well in that building. So.
Oh, yeah.
So that could be an option. But, I mean, personally, I think Frankie Lavoie is the best shot maker on the list on the available bowlers. So if you're going to go strictly with that, who has everything good game ahead between the ears, it's Frankie Lavoie.
Okay. Chris?
Well, Simonelli would be one of my choices. And then I just think Rash, he brings a fire. And, like, you know, Chuck knows Amleto a lot better than I do, obviously. But just from a bowler standpoint, I just don't think you can pass up on Rash or Simonelli, who just have that fire. And they've been there, you know, done that. You know, they have the experience. So I think if you take either one of those guys, you have a good anchor to your team already.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm going to have to go with Francois is going to be one of my guys, and Simonelli being another one. Simonelli just obviously coming back to the tour, making his name again. I think he's going to be a pretty good one. And Francois winning the U.S. Open again this year. I mean, they're both having pretty good times. Sean is as well, but I think one of the first two is definitely going to be Francois or Ryan.
Well, we will see in about 30 minutes. We will see who Amleto takes.
I will tell you, if I was picking personally, my pick would be Ryan Simonelli. If I was picking, that would be my pick, Ryan Simonelli. I want to get my lefty right away. I want to get somebody who I know has thrown it for the cheese, not only in that building, but at that event. And my pick would be Ryan. Would be my personal pick, because of he is fiery. He's a guy that he wants the ball in his hand, right? He wants that ball.
Yeah,
and that he would be my pick. Ryan would be my pick.
Okay.
I mean, I personally look at any team needs a leader, and that's what Ryan reminds me of. You know, you want that that guy that has the fire, that can lead the troops, and in the clutch, that's what they're there for.
Right. And Frankie kind of has that too. I mean, he has that Wichita State background, so he's familiar with the team aspect of it as well. I think he's a leader in a different sense. He doesn't bring the fire like Simonelli or Rash does. He's more like a silent assassin, basically. But he can throw for the cheese. I mean, you don't win the U.S. Open twice and not knowing how to play the game.
No, you don't.
Yeah, and this year he made that pattern. He made it look like he was bowling on the wall. Basically, he tore that pattern apart. So he has a lot of game, and he has it between the ears. So he's a really solid player. It would be a great addition to anybody's team.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's why he's a good fit with Emleto, because Emleto is probably not looking for someone to lead the team. Emleto is going to lead the team.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's Emleto's style. He's going to be a team manager, similar to Norm Duke. He's going to just, move his puzzle pieces around, and he's going to think a lot. I think Emleto is going to be that kind of guy. And then you got Marshall, who's just the opposite. Yeah.
How great would it be to see Marshall and Simonelli to get fired up on the approach?
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Yes. Oh God. The ratings will go through the roof. And speaking of that, so let's talk about the building in Portland. I've never been there before. The atmosphere at Bayside Bowl, that's like nowhere else in the country.
Oh, it's
ridiculous.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
So, Chuck, or Justin, just tell us a little bit about Bayside for the people that don't know too much about it.
I would say if there is one bowling center that you want to go to that isn't either the National Bowling Stadium or the Bowling Plaza at South Point, Bayside Bowl during the PBA League is the place that you want to be. I've been there when it was in the original 12 lanes, and I've been there when it's in the new stadium, arena, whatever you want to call it, that they've set up. And they've got a really neat setup, and that crowd is like no other. It is absolutely insane how they're always cheering, and I think it's something that the PBA actually needs, is a crowd just like that for every show.
Well, they used to have it where the crowd would make some noise. Chuck, you probably remember those days where, down the lanes, guys were cheering and whatnot. I agree with you, Justin. They should be bringing that back. But that's a place, like a bucket list place I want to go to, is Bayside Bowl.
And even with the music playing in the background, they got the bell for the tie. I mean, I love it all. It's that place that you want to be, and I think it's great for the PBA.
And everybody gets a nickname up there, right? Something along those lines. Everybody has a nickname, and
yep,
a lot of them, a lot of nicknames.
And you get a brick too. If you shoot 300, you get a brick on the wall, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Now, did the team, when Duke's team shot 300, the team got a brick, or each individual player got a brick?
I think they just had a team brick for that one.
Either it said Dallas or Strikers or something along those lines.
But a lot of guys have bricks, obviously, that have bowled 300s up there, and I think I give a lot of credit to Tom Clark. And he heard a lot of noise from the loud minority, right?
Yeah.
And I give him a lot of credit, and I think it's like that with any great businessman. Chris went through this, I guarantee it. When he decided he was going to go online and sell bowling balls, the people probably thought you were a total whack job and a lunatic, and without question. But most people that are super successful in business or in life, they don't listen to that loud minority that gets on social media, and they're keyboard warriors, and they're if they were in your face, they probably wouldn't say anything. But they're on there. Oh, this noise is stupid, and why do those girls look like bimbos, and why do they dress that way? And are they drinking? I think they're drinking, and they're having fun. Like we compete in a sport that is also a recreation. So we do need to have more fun in our sport, without question. We have to, and because if we need audience. We need audience. We need people to care about it. Why is the number one watched golf hole in all of golf out in Tucson at the Waste Management. Why? Because of what happens at that hole, people care more about that than Amen Corner at the Masters, right? And unless you're a purist, right? You're a purist and you don't think they should be loud like that, and they don't think you should boo somebody if they hit it close. But it's what they do. It's just fun, and the ratings are through the roof when that event's going on.
Yeah, and I even think that it was really neat to see a singles competition on TV with the playoffs last year.
Yeah,
I thought that was one of the best put together set. I think that was the best idea or concept that the PBA could have come up with. With 6 straight weeks of Monday night bowling. It was incredible. It was awesome.
it was fantastic.
I mean,
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, when we went to WrestleMania, and then the next day I went up there to watch, the seat price for the following weekend. And, it was just being in that environment. Because you see it on TV, you don't experience it until you're actually there. And how the PBA, like you're saying, Justin, had the set up to make it like a real sporting event. I thought that was so cool when we walked in and saw that. And how those people embrace the sport and just show their enthusiasm. And that's what bowling needs. And it was fun to be there. And even afterwards, they stick around. It's not like they're there and they just do it and leave. They hang out. And they can't wait to be around the players and celebrate with them.
Well, maybe this year, Justin, we'll have to take our show on the road.
We just might have to do that.
It'll be fun. I guarantee you that. You'll have a good time. Hopefully, they get some dates situated, and really thinking about Charlie during this. He just made the purchase of the place on his own now.
Oh, wow.
And, the timing isn't great for him. It was like they closed on it maybe 30 days before this happened.
Oh, wow.
So the timing's a little hard for him right now with them being closed and doing some takeout food. But he'll have support and he'll battle through it. And so hopefully we're going to be looking at sometime in September to be there. I don't know if they're going to have any tentative dates that they might announce today, but looking like it might be sometime in September for the league to actually happen now.
Awesome.
So does anybody have any last-minute thoughts before we bring in our first guest? We have someone in the studio, and you might know his name, you might not.
We do have somebody here.
And do we want to go ahead and bring him on, Mike?
I would love to, if you don't mind, Justin.
All right, let's bring on the GOAT, Walter Ray Williams Jr.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, the GOAT is in the house.
Yes, sir.
Walter Ray, welcome. Welcome to the show, Walter Ray. Nice to have you.
Thanks, Mike.
It's a pleasure.
Hey, Chris.
Hi, Walter.
So,
And
Walter,
Justin.
Walter Ray, this is your, I don't even know how many years in the league here. So what are you expecting tonight from your team, Mr. Petraglia? What do you think he's going to do with his first pick?
Well, I'm going to kind of keep quiet on that because I don't want other guys to say, oh, let's snag him. So, but I heard you guys talking about who you think the first pick is, and I kind of think Francois, he's kind of at the top of my list. But, it's hard to say. I don't know, how Amleto how well he knows these guys. I mean, he's bowled a little bit on tour, but he hasn't bowled very much this year. And unfortunately, that's the one thing that some of the coaches don't see, and that's one of the unfortunate problems that Johnny has is he doesn't know some of these guys, so he doesn't have, he doesn't understand, doesn't really see their game that much. Might see him on TV or something once in a while, but until you're actually out there watching them every week, it's really hard to get a real grasp on how good these players are. And they're all great, so it's just like we're talking like that much between this guy and that guy. And when it comes down to it for this situation, I think Johnny's looking more for team cohesive, so that's you can get a team that actually gels together, not necessarily the absolute superstar players. I mean, that wouldn't be a bad thing, but if the guys aren't getting along, that doesn't help. So, but I think that's what he's looking for.
Yeah, that's one thing I learned a lot this year in my high school bowling was learning how to be a team it doesn't matter if you have the best 5 individuals. You can't be anything important at all if you're not gelled together as one. And I think that'll be a huge factor for some of these teams. I think that'll definitely be huge for them.
Yeah, and then unfortunately, that kind of happens a little bit when you have all these guys with big egos and prima donnas, that they think they're number one and they should be taken that way. Sometimes like you got to say, okay, I need to take a back seat to this other guy because he's doing better this week or right this second or whatever. So
Walter Ray, we were just talking about the building up there in Maine. It's an atmosphere like nowhere else. What do you think of it? Do you like going up to Maine with the atmosphere and the noise up there at Bayside Bowl?
Yeah, I don't mind bowling up there. I mean, obviously it's a lot of fun having everybody cheering and stuff. I don't know if that's going to be the situation. It depends on when they have the event and how things are going by then. I think why they postponed the event was because of the European players. I think a lot of them are going to have a lot of issues getting over here. That could play into the team. If a player's not able to get here, they got to substitute him with somebody else who's maybe lower on the list. So, I think that's another thing players got to think about a little bit, or some of the coaches.
That's a very good point there. Nobody really thought about the international factor with this.
Yeah, I think that could definitely be a huge factor, especially
they throw a huge monkey wrench into things.
Yeah,
but
especially with a lot of the guys.
Months away. Hopefully everything, goes away. I don't think that's going to happen, but hopefully it's contained and at least not getting worse. I think obviously that would be horrible for everybody and everything. So, but we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to bowl again. So I actually got a little practice in the last couple of days.
We saw that. I saw you were in the villages throwing the ball around a little bit.
Yeah.
There are 52.
Walter Ray, is this the longest you've been on a break from bowling, bearing an injury, obviously?
This is my longest stretch of non-bowling since I started bowling. Well, when I got into bowling, probably when I was about 19, when I got into bowling really seriously. Yeah, I would take sometimes about 3 or 4 weeks off after the tour. And let me see, I got the thing on my big TV here, so I can turn the volume down a little bit. But 3 or 4 weeks would be about the longest I ever went without bowling. And so it's like, wow, this is a long time. And being a little older, I was a little curious about that. So it wasn't too bad.
That's good, though.
The one thing that we should probably touch on that Walter Ray brought up a minute ago is, like Johnny not really knowing these guys. So Johnny is relying some on other people to give him input. I know that Walter Ray has given him a list of people that he likes, and Brad has, Rhino has, I have, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of the managers, and again, Amleto and Marshall certainly should be doing this. And I actually gave Amleto a list of people. He reached out to me, and so we, they're getting input from guys that are already on the team too, and I think that's really good for the team to give their input to the coach, to the manager of the team, so the manager gets a feel for what type of personalities they'd like to have on the team, because it's not all about the skill level, like Walter Ray said. It's about gelling and being cohesive as a group. You're a unit now. Now you're a unit, and you got to figure out a way to coexist and bring the best out in each other.
Exactly. That's a good point. And, it's a shame that it took the PBA this long to do an event like this. This would have been great if this was something from years ago, just like, 20, 30 years. This would have been really great to have back, when Walter was touring, when the tour was, in the 90s or even in the 80s. This would have been great with those personalities,
Yeah. So as I'm watching the draft, I got my phone set up right here. We want to talk about one of the rules is players or managers will actually only have 2 minutes to make their selection. That's one of the rules that they just showed on the screen as I'm watching it right here. So that'll definitely be interesting. I mean, I think they've had a little bit longer in the past. Chuck would know more than I do, obviously him being there a couple of times, but I think it'll definitely be interesting, especially with their first ever virtual draft.
I actually thought we used to get 5 minutes. Walter Ray, wasn't it 5 minutes before?
I can't remember, but I think it was 2 minutes.
Was
And
it? Well, you would think you'd want it to be longer, though, since you're doing it virtually, because Johnny was explaining to me that he has to give the pick to Tom. Tom has to okay the pick, and then it goes back, and I mean, there's not going to be a lot of time to discuss it.
No, but the thing is if I was the manager, I would have my list of players, my top pick, and when somebody gets picked, I knock them off the list, knock them off the list. So
got my highlighter.
It's a very simple thing. Now, it might come down to, well, okay, maybe these two guys might be better together as opposed to something else. But other than that, I think it would be something that most of the managers should be able to do fairly quickly.
So I want to take this time before we get into the draft and make their first selections. First off, Chris, thank you for joining us this evening. We will definitely be looking forward to our meeting with you and Packy on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. So be sure to check it out. It's definitely going to be a good one on Tuesday. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay. Thank you. Have
See
a
you,
great
Chris.
show.
See you around, Chris.
And there goes Chris Forey, ladies and gentlemen.
So we've actually got our board all made up. We want to show you guys right now. So the way that this is going to work is Las Vegas and Bruce City and Leto and Marshall will get the first 3 picks in round 1, round 2, and round 3. Then the other teams will snake through, going through round 3 and round 4. And then Las Vegas and Bruce City will get the last 2 picks in round 5. So I think it'll definitely be an interesting time, especially seeing the first 3 picks from each team. I think that'll be very crucial to their team, being that they do get the first 6.
Definitely agree with that one, Justin. And it is going to be something to see. And do we have an idea of when the first pick is going to be submitted?
They are actually going through all the teams right now with the saved players. So we will definitely be chatting about a couple little things. I mean, we got our draft order right here. We know that Leto is going to get the first pick, like we talked about a little bit earlier.
So I want to bring up a question or a statement.
Got my pick up.
So Mrs. Williams said there was a Brunswick World Team Challenge back in the 90s, which I'm familiar with. They used to bowl in those around here in Jersey. So Walter Ray, did you ever bowl in any of the team challenges back in the day?
I never did. My wife did. My current wife, my ex-wife didn't, but my current wife bowled back before. Yeah,
we had.
I never did bowl. The tour was fairly busy at that time. Bowling 30 plus weeks a year, and the money was an excessive amount. And it just wasn't a big deal to me.
Yep, we had Barnes on a couple weeks ago, and we had Doug Kent on this past week, and they, Barnes lived in those things. He made a second income bowling the team challenges, and a lot of guys on tour bowled them. So just wondering if you ever bowled. I never saw you on any of the shows, so just being curious.
No, there was a couple times it was like maybe going to happen. It just didn't happen.
Chuck, you ever do any of those team challenges? And you're
yeah, we bowled some of them. I bowled with Del Warren and we bowled them quite a bit. We made a couple shows. It was fun. We enjoyed it. They were brutal. They were usually very disgusting, and they were fun to bowl though because there was so much action. So yeah, we bowled them. We bowled a lot of them actually.
That would be great if they brought an event like that back for the normal bowler. I mean,
absolutely.
I think that would be huge. And even like me being a youth bowler, seeing the USA Bowling program, I think it would be really neat to have a youth team challenge. I think that would be really cool. I mean, there's a lot of great players all across the country and even across the world. There's a lot of great youth bowlers. And I think that'd be something really neat to see 5 best bowlers put on a team and bowl each other. I think that would be something really neat.
And we've even touched on this with a couple of our other guests about maybe like a battle of the sexes, having 5 from the PWBA tour against the winning team of the league series here and let them have at it. Where there's a lot of strong players on the ladies tour, and it'd be kind of cool to have like a battle of the sexes between the guys and the gals, you know?
Oh yeah, that'd be huge. I think that'd be something really interesting if the PBA did decide to do that.
Yeah, it's kind of like merge together and just have one big event and let everybody have at it. And it's good for the sport. You know, we are kind of the only game in town right now. So anything to boost it up, you know, I think is a good idea.
Oh, absolutely.
Walter Ray, how are things down in Florida? Things are opening up a little bit. The bowling centers are opening up little by little down there.
Yeah, a little bit. The one bowling center just opened up part-time, and they did what they call a soft opening. I was really surprised that there weren't a lot more people there. But I think on Monday, I think they're going to open up Spanish Springs, which is where they actually host the PBA 50 tournament. They have the two centers like 6 blocks apart from each other. And I actually bowl league at the Fiesta with my wife. But it's, you know, it was a little, you know, if it was crowded, I probably wouldn't have gone, you know. But since there was, I think the first day I went, I think they had 8 lanes going, and they have 32 lanes there. So definitely a lot of spacing involved. And, you know, they had open lanes in between, you know, where I was at. So it's, you know, a lot of ifs out there and a lot of unknowns. And, you know, I think being safe is more important, unfortunately. And I know the businesses are hurting all over the place. You know, my income's suffered a little bit. So
did they have anything set up in the center, like any dividers or like between the lanes?
They didn't have any dividers. The couple employees there at the desk, they had these big old, you know, the big old face masks, the plastic face masks going over them. And most of the people, when they weren't bowling, you know, I walked in with a little face mask over my face. But the thing is, I tried bowling with that a little bit, and it's like, well, normally I blow into my thumb hole. You can't do that, you know. So I ended up taking it off, and I don't know how that's going to play out in the future, if that's going to be a problem for the bowling centers or not, you know, that you actually have to wear a face mask while you bowl. I don't think anybody was wearing one while they were actually bowling. When they weren't bowling, most of them had some sort of face mask on. But when we were bowling, most of us had it off.
So you mentioned you bowl league down there. My parents live in the Villages, so I know the center is well down there. What are you averaging in league, Walter, right? Just being curious.
Well, it's on a house condition, so the scores are pretty high, but I also bowl two-handed.
Really?
I do that to have fun and also to get a little practice bowling, you know, bowling two-handed. So my average, I think, was only 218. And the two lanes are the two houses there. Most of the players, the better, because there's a bunch of good bowlers down there, and most of the better scores seem to come from Spanish Springs. I'm not sure why. You know, they basically use the same pattern. They got the same machine. They got the head and lanes, which are a little bit different to look at. The boards are kind of tough to see on the head lanes, and it's I'm not a big fan of those actual, you know, synthetic lanes themselves, but it's because it's really hard to pick out a spot because the boards are just they really didn't do a good job in designing that, in my opinion. But it is what it is. And Fiesta has wood approaches, and that's why my wife likes to bowl there. And the other Spanish Spring has synthetic approaches. It's not a big deal for me. I've got shoes that interchange the soles. I can, you know, go from one to the other. It's just I got to remember to do it because sometimes you slip too much in one place or you stick too much. But yeah, I actually was subbing at Spanish Springs, and the last week I was there before I went on the road, I shot a 300 to one night, and then the next night I subbed and shot a 847. Two-handed.
Two-handed. So see, Justin, that's what a real Hall of Famer bowls in the league, not like your father. I mean, my God. Can I tell the story, Justin? I mean,
this story we've actually told a couple of times, and I think it's definitely going to be a good one for Chuck to hear for sure.
So I'll make it quick. He came back from the Bowlmaster?
The Bowlmaster.
The Bowlmaster.
In Germany or Finland?
Yeah, so it was this year, and he was subbing with myself and Leslie that night in the league. And Parker had 3 balls with him. He had his spare ball, and he had two other balls that were, one was at 360, the other one was at 500.
I heard this.
Parker was 311 for 2 to start the night. 311 for 2, and he looked like a lost dog. And he was talking to himself. He was Brandon. He's something like stuff something. He put surface on it, and he ended up throwing his plastic ball the last game and grinded out 240 the last game. And oh man, it's painful to watch Parker bowl league, guys. It really is. Chuck, you need help. Send him some help or something. It's hard to watch him.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it can be painful to watch. Yeah.
I did something like that years and years ago when I was first on tour, like probably my second or third year on tour. My mom and my brother, one of my brothers, were bowling in a league, and I subbed for him one night, and I think I shot a whopping 450 something.
It happens to the best of us, but Parker put up a good steady 215 this year in league. So thank you for all your help this year, Parker. Greatly appreciated.
He's working on a handicap. That's what I'm doing.
He thinks he gets 3 balls a frame. That's what he thinks. It's Hobbit rule, right?
So while they are actually on the broadcast, they're introducing the top 10 players in the field.
Bill O'Neill's top 10.
Yes. So before we get into the actual draft, I do have a question about a new rule that USBC is going to be changing in the next upcoming month. So August 1st, no more weight holes.
God.
Oh my God. So I know that this is going to be a little bit affecting me just because bowling two-handed and one-handed, I actually obviously have to use 2 different sets of balls. Do you?
And that's what I do.
So you actually have 2 different sets.
Yes.
Okay.
He does.
I do. I have balls with no thumb hold. I can throw the ball with my thumb in it, bowling two-handed. It just doesn't feel quite as comfortable. So yeah, I actually got in trouble at the U.S. Open a couple of years ago. I threw a shot, and Chuck's like, "You might not want to do that again." And I'm like, "What? What are you talking about? What's the big deal?" You know, and I had actually been using, you know, my regular balls, and you know, well, my dog wants to get in the picture here. And at they looked at the ball and they go, "Oh, illegal delivery," because it had the removable thumb in it, and so I actually got 0 for the shot.
Yeah, that's one thing that I was working with. Actually, I was working with Chris on it, and that was one of the big things that I had to change. I went from no weight holes to then back to molds, and now obviously I got to figure it out whether I'm going to put my thumb in it or have 2 different sets of balls. But
yeah, I mean it depends on. I mean there are a few guys that bowl two-handed with their thumb in the ball. That's how I used to do it, and then I tried it a couple of times without it. And I'm like, well, I kind of like that a little better. So. But I'm not an expert. I'm not, you know, by any means, you know, super good at it. I'm decent at it, but I think, you know, without the thumb, you can get a little bit more on it. But I don't know. For me, when I bowl with my thumb in it, it's like it really causes my wrist to be more involved. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, totally.
With my thumbs not in it, it's more relaxed, and it just kind of comes through it. But it's and my wrist doesn't like being in that super strong position anyway. And that's one thing I found out about bowling two-handed was that left hand supporting the bowling ball actually allows my wrist to get in that super strong position with it not hurting so much. And you know, if I tried to throw that way without my thumb, just one-handed, you know, I'd throw about 1 or 2 shots and I wouldn't be able to bowl again. You know, my wrist would just absolutely complain big time.
How long did it take you to kind of get to like a more steady pace of bowling two-handed, where the scores were coming in normal, or you felt more comfortable with it,
or even bowling longer blocks?
Yeah,
too.
I learned to bowl two-handed a long time ago, probably 10, 12 years ago. I really don't remember. I just remember it was after Jason came out on tour and Osku's out on tour, and I'm like, you know, that looks like I know it's an easy way to hook the ball. You know, it's just a matter of learning to control it. So I kind of learned how to do it without falling down. And over the next 6 or 8, 10 years, whatever it was, I would bowl, you know, 30 games a year maybe. And usually in the events, I would probably, you know, at the end of a tournament when I was out of it or whatever is when I would do it. And basically because I get very frustrated and I'm not doing well. So this was a chance for me to have some fun and, you know, and learn. So that was kind of the main reason why I did it. And then every time I go out on tour, I'm like, I need to learn how to do this. I need to learn how to do this. I need to learn. And finally, a couple of years ago, I put a little time into it and put a little effort and try to get a little ball speed. My ball speed's still way low compared to all the tour players and even the high school bowlers and stuff, but it's a little better, and that helped a little bit. And my biggest thing is I really don't practice enough. That's if I practice a lot, I know it would definitely help my game. The problem is you know, I'm 60. It's like I'm not, you know, the two-handed method is more physically. It's more physical than a one-handed method, I think. But I don't have the huge backswing like, you know, the modern players do. So my game's not as physical. But the two-handed definitely more physical for me than my one-handed game.
So you saw this as like taking over the bowling world 10, 12 years ago. You probably thought that this was like sure.
I never had a huge amount of hook. Okay. When I first came on tour, I was probably in the middle of the pack for rev rate and stuff like that. You know, that was fine. And, you know, I'd watch the old guys, and I'm like, they're throwing it straight. And I'm like, how do they strike throwing it straight? That's not what you know, not that I hooked it a lot, but I hooked it more than they did. And I didn't understand, you know, and over the next couple of years, I learned to throw it a little bit straighter, and that actually was better for me. And it actually turned out to be a good thing for me. My rev rate is actually probably the same now as it was when I first came on tour. The difference is, you know, back in 1983, they probably used 1/10 of the oil that they do now. You know, the amount of oil they put on the lanes now is unbelievable compared to, you know, what they did back then. And of course, the balls were not as strong. You know, I was still using plastic. My high series was with a plastic ball. I had 857 in 1982. You know,
that's impressive. All right, one better than me. I have an 856, so he beat me again. What else is new?
What else is new?
Yeah. So,
all right, we about ready to go, boys.
You are about ready to go?
Yeah, looks like it's getting close to starting.
All right, Walter. Well, we will let you go. I know you're having some conversations with Johnny here, and we are going to get this thing underway. Thank you, Walter Ray, for joining us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr.
Have
pleasure.
Have a good one. I'll see you in a few minutes or whenever.
All right, and best of luck this year.
Yep.
Thank you.
Take care, Walter. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Walter Ray Williams Jr. That was a good spot, Justin.
Yes, that was definitely pretty good. So another guy that we're going to have on the show, Tom Smallwood from the Philadelphia Hitmen, will be in giving his thoughts about the first pick that they make, or that Jason Couch will make for their team. We wanted to let everybody know about that one.
We have a lot of celebrities in line tonight, so don't go anywhere. Don't close your web browsers.
I just got a question about this. My name over here over my shoulder. No, I'm not saying he's going to be the first pick. What I am saying is, if I was drafting in Amleto's spot, it was me drafting, not drafting for Amleto. If I had the first pick in the draft, it would be him.
Chuck, let me ask you a question. I don't know if you know the answer to this, Justin. Maybe you do. How does one become a manager for a team? Is it just something appointed by the PBA, or is it like a random pick out of a hat, basically?
No, it's an appointed position, it's an appointed position, and I think it's there's been some debate about it, obviously, because there was players on there that represented certain brands, and there was more of that brand being representative than the other, and there was a lot of nepotism. There you go. And there were Smalls throwing one. It was interesting that how far down Bill O'Neill had BJ Moore. I thought that was pretty interesting. And he actually had Frankie fourth. No, third. Excuse me. Had Frankie third, Dick Allen fourth, Simonelli second, and Sean first. So okay. I think that's interesting. I think that, and AJ Chapman AJ Chapman he had in the top 10. I found that interesting too.
Yeah, because he's actually, I think he's in the top 10 on the actual list of eligible players.
He is. But it's interesting that, Simonelli's, way down by the bottom. Simonelli's 37th in points. And, he had Darren Tang up there. So his picks were similar to where they are in the points, where they can be drafted from.
Right.
So, but Bill has a good feel for the draft, right? I mean, the only time he really butchered it up was the year that Andrew Anderson didn't get picked, because every single pick he said, this one's going to be Andrew Anderson. This one's going to be Andrew Anderson. And then he never got picked. So he buried him. Oh, here's Tom.
With the first pick. So while Las Vegas is making their selection, I do want to thank all of you guys for tuning in tonight and watching our show. Mike, this is our best by probably at least 100 viewers.
Easily.
I can see our number. We got 130 of you guys on right now, and I just want to say thank you guys.
Yep, and more to come.
I sure hope we, we're going to be really, we're just going to fire away, right? We're not going to, we're not trying to follow anybody's rules. There's no guidelines for this.
Look, ESPN has nothing on us tonight, Chuck.
No.
So if we think a pick stinks,
we let it fly on our show.
I think we got to give our feelings, right?
Listen, I'm going to say this. While we were talking to Walter, I got a text message from somebody giving me a middle finger emoji. That would be Justin's dad. So.
Well, it's because you were hammering him on his 311.
He earned every pin of that 311. You know what? He's one of my best friends, and he can give it, and he takes it. So, it's a love-hate relationship. But we let it fly on our show, Chuck, within reason, of course.
Right.
So we want to talk. You're making fun of Dad, obviously,
no more.
One thing that I do have to talk about is every time Parker Bohn walks in the building at Howell Lanes on Monday night, Mike Val, first 10 pin he shoots at, dead miss every single time. Every time. It's awesome. It's
pressure,
so
man.
funny to watch.
Pressure.
I bowl the state tournament on Parker's team, and I'll go 30 clean, never a problem. Anywhere else, I'll go weeks without missing a corner. The second that man steps foot in the parking lot, just reset the machine.
Not miss.
There was a week, Chuck, where I had 4 in a row, ring 10 open, and we go to the next frame. I leave another ring 10, and Parker comes up to the ball return. He goes, pushes me off to the side, and I said, "What the hell are you doing?" He goes, "I'm resetting the machine, but I'm saving you the time and embarrassment of missing another one." I said, "Really?" He goes, "Well, unless you plan on making it, I'll go personally spot the pin myself." I said, "Yeah, I'm going to make this one." I didn't miss another one the rest of the night. I'll tell you that.
Well, I'm going to tell you something.
He did that on tour, he told me.
He did.
Yes.
He did it to John Donovan.
That's the guy, yep.
John Donovan missed so many 7 pins in the first block that he told John, he says, "You leave another 7 pin, I'm pushing." They're bowling together. "You leave another 7 pin, I'm pushing the reset button." And he left a 7 pin, and he reached up and went, boop, pushed the button. I was like, oh my God, he did it. That was at the Villages.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Here it is, the first pick.
Oh, no, they're going to meet the managers first.
Oh gosh.
So we still have a couple seconds here. TV Timmy.
Yeah.
TV
Timmy, baby.
And the Jersey guy.
Yeah.
Justin, do you know who his coach was growing up here in Jersey?
I can't say I know that name.
You do know the name. You know the guy, too, very well.
If you say his name, I'm sure I will.
Roger Gardner.
Roger Gardner.
Really?
Yes. Roger Gardner was Timmy's coach growing up, and probably his brother, too, James Mack, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I don't know about that.
Roger is a plethora of bowling. He is he's an encyclopedia of the game. So there's your Roger Gardner shout out tonight.
So while we are waiting on this first pick, if you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat. We can go ahead and answer anything you guys got for us.
Yeah, we are here. Anything goes tonight. We are going to be here for as long as the audience wants, I guess, right?
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
we got a superstar coming in at the end.
We do have Amleto coming in tonight. I can go through the list of people, Justin, that we potentially have.
let's let that one lay low a little bit.
And another text message just came in from Mrs. Bohn.
Oh gosh,
Mrs. Bohn saying, "I beat Parker that night."
Well, she beats Parker a lot of nights. She's pretty good.
Let me tell you something, Chuck. We bowl Leslie and I bowl on the same team, and she had drilled what did she drill? A jab, right, Justin? A melee jab.
Melee jab SC. Yep.
New melee jab. And
and before you get into that, that's actually the ball that the original one in 2015. She bowled her first 300 with a melee jab in 2015, and then got the new one come around the new year. Yeah. Go ahead, Michael. Continue your story.
Chuck, she drilled this ball the first night she threw it. She shot 300 and like 760, 770 with, or whatever it was. She didn't move her feet until we were suspended for the COVID situation. She did. Justin, am I lying? I mean,
she bowled 700 every week, and it was
760. Oh my god!
I got Larry in the chat.
Yep.
He's saying, I swear it was every other week. Mom, front 9. Mom, front 9. Mom, front 10. Front 11. Mom just bowled 300. I was like, are you serious?
Yeah. She never moved her feet for 8 weeks. It was incredible. She's just she's the real bowler in the family. No offense to you, Justin.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's okay.
There's JP.
Our other super sub, Justin.
Yeah, Johnny's another local guy. He subs in our league. Yeah. Same league from time to time.
He needs a haircut. JP, you need a haircut, bro.
Well, we're kind of limited to what we can do here, Chuck. We can't go to the barbershop.
Looks like you got one.
I have my own set of clippers here.
This is the first time that I've actually done my hair in about 2 months.
I shaved my quarantine beard for Chuck today.
Is that right?
I did.
I trimmed mine for you guys. It was looking really, really shaggy yesterday or this morning. Shaggy.
So, we do have one question in the chat. I'll let you guys just read it off.
Should I buy Parker a 311 CD for his birthday?
Of course. Of course.
That would definitely be a good one.
I don't get the reference to that one, but I'll take your word for it, Justin.
Okay. All right.
I'm out with the time sometimes. What do you want from me?
It's always a interesting time when you're with Mike Val.
And there he is, Hamleto.
He got the first pick.
Yeah, he's gonna have the first pick, but they haven't given it yet.
Justin, I see we have another.
They're still introducing everybody.
Justin, we have another question on the bottom of the chat log here. If you see the last one that's popped in
from John Spence,
from the legend John Spence himself. Justin, who's the better bowler, Mom or Aunt Chrissy?
You know, I'm probably gonna have to go with Mom on this one. Not picking favorites.
They're on the clock.
Oh, we are on the clock.
So while they are making their selection, I'm gonna go why. Chrissy probably hasn't bowled in a few months. It's been a little bit of time. We were actually considering doing a match between Doug and Chrissy and Mom and Dad, but Dad made his trip a little short. So
did Chrissy go to Wichita as well, Justin?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she went to Wichita.
She did.
I think she won a national championship there too. I just got a message from Chrissy with a not very nice face.
Chrissy's a great bowler too, though. So,
and I got her saying only a year, and then Natalie messaging me or years.
How about really quick talking about haircuts? Sammy Ventura checking in. No haircut needed for Sammy V.
None.
Very well said, Sam. Very well said.
Sammy V, good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Now, how close is he to where you guys are, Justin? I know Sammy is an upstate New York guy. Is he?
I think he's in Albany. And that's probably about 3 hours from where we are.
All right. Like I know, like the Schenectady area, maybe? Is that where? Maybe that.
Maybe. We're
All right.
about an hour west of Syracuse. We're in between Syracuse and Rochester.
Gotcha.
So we actually do have someone else in the chat saying that
Here
they
we
would
go.
also love to see a women's team. But we got Las Vegas making their pick.
Get my trusty highlighter out so I can mark off.
You got the highlighter. I got the Sharpie ready. We are ready to roll, boys.
So we can mark off Francois Lavoie.
He was picked?
Pick is in. Well, not yet.
Oh, okay.
It is
Francois Lavoie.
Francois Lavoie, the first pick in the PBA League Draft. So let's pull up our board here and go ahead and update it with Francois. Oh, wait. I'm just going to copy and paste his name. I don't want to butcher that one. So there we go. Updated board. Francois Lavoie, the first pick of the 2020 PBA League Draft.
So now we are going to go to the number 2 pick, and the Medford Meteor is on the clock, Chuck.
Yeah, that I would be unbelievably surprised if it's not Sean Rash.
Yeah,
unbelievably surprised.
Well, I mean, the Simonelli is the other obvious pick there. I mean,
he's also fiery.
That's what I'm saying. If you're
Marshall,
going with personality, you got Rash, you got Simonelli. I mean, you got the personalities there.
Yep, yeah. But here's the good thing about Marshall. So Marshall, if I understand this correctly, picks now and then picks again.
Yeah, he gets back to back.
So it doesn't matter which one he takes because I think he's going to end up with both of them because they both fit his personality.
That would be the smart pick right there. That would be the smart move right there.
I mean, now he's got he takes Rash, Sim, and he's got 2 fiery guys. Not sure how good they'll gel together. They're not exactly go hanging out together. Because Simonelli was on Johnny's team at one point.
They were on the strike. Now, Chuck, here's a question for you, and I'm not too familiar with the rules of the draft. Like other organizations, whether the NFL, the NBA, can managers make trades in the PBA draft to trade up for a pick? Really?
They can't trade up for a pick. Once they have a pick, they can trade players.
Okay.
They can't change draft position.
So you can't, like, I'm going to give you 2 for the 3rd round or vice versa, like in the NFL?
No.
Gotcha.
Okay. Good to know.
So they can trade. Here we are. Pick is in.
Pick is in.
Yep. There he is.
Mr. Rash.
Yep.
Mr. Rash going.
So I would venture to say Simonelli will get picked in this spot, this next spot. So then my next pick, if I'm picking in Amleto's place, well, let's make sure that he takes Simonelli because that's what makes sense, right? It makes sense to take Simonelli.
It does. I will say this, though. I mean, if you're going down the list, Dick Allen would be the next one.
Yeah.
Arguably the most underrated bowler on tour.
Oh, absolutely. One of them.
100%. Most underrated bowler on tour.
Let's hear what Sean has to say.
rest of the guys tonight on their opportunities. Being a part of this PBA League in Portland, Maine, at Bayside Bowl, an unbelievable establishment. Charlie and everybody there. But I'm really excited to be bowling for Marshall. Our personalities are very similar. We're very hungry, show a lot of emotion on the lanes, and can't wait to see what his next picks are. And I'm sure we'll be texting back and forth on strategies and everything else.
Well said. Well said.
Yep.
So take a look at our upgraded board. Francois Lavoie being the first pick, Sean Rash being the second one. Bruce City will have the third pick and the first pick in round number 2.
Believe it or not, Sean Rash said it is what it is a few times.
Yeah. he is maybe a little bitter.
That's okay.
That's all right.
You know, listen, Amleto's going to pick based on his personality, and that it made perfect sense to me, right? To you guys too,
Absolutely.
and I think to a lot of people. And that's why I think Simonelli goes now. Again, that's because that's Marshall's personality. Marshall is a fiery guy, and you know.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, looking down the list, I mean, there's really not many guys that fit the Marshall Holman.
Well, AJ Johnson definitely does.
Yep.
But I don't see AJ Johnson going in this spot.
No.
Not with Ryan Simonelli available and Dick Allen.
No, absolutely. I mean, you could even go down the line a little bit. A guy who's making a little bit of a comeback, Ronnie Russell. Yeah. Ronnie's down the list too, and he has that personality about him as well. But I agree with you guys. It should be Simonelli here. That's a no-brainer.
Here we go, Marshall.
Chuck, we do have a question in the chat about turning up the volume on your computer that you have the draft playing on.
He took Ryan Simonelli. I'm sorry, I missed the question. He did take Ryan Simonelli.
Okay.
So Ryan is not available for me now. So my second pick would be Dick Allen.
Yeah. Okay,
what was the question? I'm sorry.
Turning up the volume on your TV or whatever you got. Your
want me to turn it up more?
Yeah.
Whatever you're listening to Tom Clark on.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you.
A little bit more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And he got his top 2 players on my big board at second and third. All right, we do have Ryan Simonelli standing by.
All right, Sim, way to go, kid.
On being drafted third. What is it about Bayside that you just performed so well there? It seems like. Yeah, there's definitely some certain houses that people.
So with Amleto back on the clock, I mean, Dick Allen's that personality. If we're going strictly personality, and he is really bowled well in that building. He matches up really, really well in Portland.
Yeah.
Really well. I mean, he is a great bowler.
Underrated bowler.
Very underrated bowler. Guy has a chance to get in the Hall of Fame, and the guy's a great bowler.
Yeah, and it's good personality. He's a real likable guy. He really is.
That seemed like that was a possibility. So I'm happy before you got drafted here. And before you get off, can you show everybody your forearms? We're not getting it. Come on, go. All right.
I'll tell you what, that will be a sight to see if somebody needs it for the win on that team. You're going to see Simonelli, Rash, and Marshall. The fireworks from those 3. My Lord.
And who knows? They got 3 more picks too.
And they do have some more picks to come.
Here we go. The next pick is in.
Oh, and Leto's in.
Yes, the 4th pick is in Las Vegas. It's the 4th pick and the second pick of the second round. And Leto Monticelli is ready to make that announcement. Thank you, Tom. My second choice will be Andrew Anderson.
Andrew Anderson.
Wow. That's an Amleto personality right there.
It is. It is a great Amleto personality.
Yeah.
Masters champion right there.
I like that pick a lot, actually.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming.
So here's a look at our updated board after 2 rounds.
So Chuck, what do you think about that one?
I think it's a great pick. I really do. Andrew Anderson is a great bowler. He's competitive. He's a hard worker. And he's liking guys. He's liking guys that are going to go a little straighter. He's liking guys that are mild mannered, a little bit more mild mannered.
Mhm.
No and yes. Well, so now there's no now Dick Allen. Now he's going to pick Dick Allen, right?
You would assume so,
Oh yeah.
unless he wants to go with AJ Johnson.
Nah.
No,
No.
that's a Marshall Holman kind of guy.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Amleto gets the next pick. I apologize.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
7 or 8 picks in a row, and then you were not selected, and then you went on to win the Player of the Year. So my question is, how much credit do I get for your success? I would say you get a decent amount of credit. Draft in general gets a decent amount of credit.
So to answer the question in our chat log, the first 2 picks on Marshall Holman's team,
Being not picked was even better.
Sean Rash,
So
Ryan Simonelli. There is the first 2, and he will be selecting momentarily his 3rd pick. And that is the big board as of right now.
Vegas with Francois Lavoie. I feel like you guys match up pretty well together.
I think we're going to have a lot of fun. I think we're going to be a sneaky good team. I think Frankie's been looked over so many times already in his career, and I think he's phenomenal, and he always shows up at the majors. So I'm really looking forward to bowling with him.
All right, Andrew, thanks for joining us. And, I guess now you have to wonder, it doesn't really matter who goes 4th and who goes 5th here because both players are going to Las Vegas. But Andrew Anderson is the number 4 pick for
Now Dick Allen goes to
Amleto.
Amleto.
He should.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Of the 2020 PBA League Draft, and all the teams have entered the draft now. Making the first pick in the 3rd round is Las Vegas. To announce that selection,
Or does he go BJ Moore?
Yeah, I was thinking there's some names down on the list that he could definitely pick. Like Dick Allen, obviously, is one of them.
AJ Johnson.
I called it. Wow.
All right,
Wow. AJ Johnson.
that's
Well,
a pretty
now
good
we
3.
know for sure that Dick Allen's going to go to. That's a good pick, though. I mean,
That's a good core 3 right there.
Oh yeah,
that's a
for
good
sure.
3.
Looks like he's built this team for.
Because you have
He's got 3.
Lavoie, whose touch is just unbelievable. He's just a pure shot maker. You got power with AJ Johnson, and Andrew's kind of like that middle tweener guy who's just a shot maker with a little bit more hand than a stroker, but he's not a stroker. So that's a really good benchmark for those 3 guys for that team right there.
Congratulations going at number 5 in the draft. What do you think about being teamed up with Frankie and Andrew?
This is pretty cool.
Hey, Ronnie Russell's there with him. They're at EJ's house.
They got their own draft party going on.
Yeah, they're having a draft party at EJ's house.
So there's the updated board for those of you who are asking. AJ Johnson being the first pick in round number 3. I think they got a pretty good first 3 picks and a pretty solid one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we would assume that it's going to be Dick Allen, but again, we don't know.
Yeah, again, when you look at the best players available, there obviously Dick Allen is probably the most accomplished player still available, with a lot of experience in the building, a ton.
Yeah.
But BJ Moore, man, he's sneaky good, man.
Oh, yeah.
Sneaky good.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of experience in the building.
Mhm.
So
Who was he on the Kingpins last year? He was on Weber's team, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
Or Duke's team. It was one of the two.
I think it was the Kingpins.
Ballers, and it looks like the pick is in.
Pick his
is
pin.
All right.
Yes, we got the selection. The second pick of the third round is confirmed. And to make that announcement is manager Marshall Holman of the Bruce City Ballers. All right, my third pick is going to be a man who has, like Ryan Simonelli, bowled great at Bayside Bowl
There we go.
and other places as well. Nick Allen.
There you go.
There it is.
So, I mean, both teams have built a nice core, right? I mean, let's
Absolutely.
be honest. It's an interesting roster,
Yeah.
you know.
So I'm going to ask you this question, Chuck. Which one kind of is the stronger three right now?
Oh well, I mean, right this minute, I would
Out of
think
those two.
Marshall's team's the strongest right now. But the reality is, Amleto's building his team for the future, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got three guys in their
In the 20s.
early to mid 20s. So
Congratulations. What a team there. Are you a little disappointed that you dropped the 6th of the draft? Did you hope you might go a little higher, or does it not matter?
Doesn't matter. I mean, growing up watching Marshall Holman as a kid, I got to compete in a tournament or two towards his end in my beginning.
interesting.
It is. So now let's go the next pick. Where are we going with the next pick? That is going to be the question.
Philadelphia Hitmen get their pick, and I think it could be an interesting one. If we look at the board here, take a look at it once more. They got Dom Barrett, Tom Smallwood, and Sean Maldonado.
Yeah.
And Jason Couch being their coach. I think Darren Tang is an option. Nick Pate isn't a terrible one.
No. I would think. I mean, this will be a really interesting pick. I think.
Oh yeah.
I really think this will be a super interesting pick because Jason. I mean, could Jason grab Ronnie Russell here?
Yeah, he's bowled with them the last couple of years.
Yeah,
that
he's
could be
one of his guys.
That is one of his boys there.
Does he go down there and grab Ronnie Russell now? It's. I think it's really interesting that BJ Moore is still there.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure about Jason's relationship with BJ Moore. But I would think BJ Moore or Ronnie Russell. To be honest, I don't think he really has a lot of experience with Brad Miller or Darren Tang or Nick Pate because they're all kind of younger and newer to the tour.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough pick.
If you're going straight experience, it's definitely going to be Ronnie. Straight experience with Ronnie.
And obviously they have a great relationship with the team.
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie was on the team.
Right.
Ronnie's been on the team for the last few years. So
this could go a few ways.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is your gut telling you?
I think Ronnie's a good option. I mean, I agree with both you guys. He's been on the team the last few years. And, I mean, they got to have a good relation with those guys. I wouldn't be surprised if they go with them just for that, back to that team camaraderie thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This will definitely be a good one. I mean, there's a ton of good players on that list still. So,
there are.
You will see what Mr. Couch is thinking momentarily.
Yeah, they went to a commercial break.
Oh, well, that gives us more time to just shoot it here, right?
Yeah. We got any cool questions on there or no?
What do we got here? Well, that's where Justin's expertise is. He's the brains behind the operation.
Actually, before we go into any questions, we got one of the newest members of the Las Vegas High Rollers, AJ Johnson.
AJ.
AJ,
What's up, AJ?
What's going on, guys?
welcome.
Congrats on getting picked.
Thank you very much. It's
You're,
pretty.
Your
pretty
manager
cool.
drafting for the future, ain't he, bud?
I
that's a
guess
nice
so.
young team.
It's pretty cool. I think it's going to be a pretty cool team to be a part of. Having Frankie and Andrew, myself, young guys that are hungry. We still want to win and make an impact right away in the league. With somebody with so much experience like Leto as a manager, I think it's going to be pretty cool to see what happens, and I'm really looking forward to this.
Awesome.
Who's going right now? Is Ronnie Russell going now?
I don't know.
I mean, Jason Couch's team.
Right. If they were characters of habit from that team, you would think Ronnie would be that pick, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're thinking.
Whoa, Jason Sterner.
Wow.
Wow, that's interesting pick.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to certainly throw a monkey wrench into Johnny Petraglia's thoughts, I would guess.
Clearly, Jason Couch going with some experience.
I actually put him ahead of everyone.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But I mean, considering how much success he had towards the end of last season,
yeah,
it makes sense.
Oh yeah, I mean he's a worker, man.
For sure.
All right, we're going to actually add one more guy to the stream, one of the members of the Hitman team, Tom Smallwood. Tom, thanks for joining us tonight.
Oh, my favorite person, Wally World. What's up, man?
Smalls. Did you have a lot of influence in that pick, Smallwood?
Coach don't listen to anybody.
I did not see that coming at all.
You don't like anybody, it doesn't matter.
No.
Where did you think you were going to go in this draft?
I think I'm having a hard time hearing him, Justin.
Chuck, can you mute your stream, the flow stream?
It was pretty good at the end, but I struggled a lot. Then going through some changes, and then
Someone else has got it on.
So,
AJ.
I was hoping to get in. I didn't.
AJ, I'm going to mute you for a quick minute.
Okay.
All
All right, go
there's
ahead, Tom.
Smalls.
That's a little better. No, we have 11 guys picked to look for. Andrew's one of our picks. Obviously, he got taken a few rounds ago or a few ago. So Sterner was waiting on the list too. He's one of those guys you know that you're never gonna, he's always be prepared to bowl good, and he's a good teammate. So it makes it a lot easier for to pick him. He's just a good guy.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Was BJ Moore in the conversation at all, or no?
He's on the list. Yeah. Ultimately came down to Couch. We wanted to take that first pick. He was scared that Sterner wouldn't be there for a second pick, so he was high on him. And
I would think Sterner was probably going to go next if he didn't go there, right?
right, that's what you're thinking.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Tom, for your opinion. We are actually got one guy who went pretty early as well. Thanks, Tom. We will talk to you later.
Thank you, Tom.
No problem. Talk to you
Great, Tom Smallwood.
And we have someone else, the great Andrew Anderson, who went pretty early. Andrew, how you doing?
What's up, man?
There
Can
he
you
is.
hear me? We're all good?
Yes, we can. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.
So, Andrew,
So did you think that you were going to go that early?
Did I think I was going to go that early? No, I did not. I thought I was going to be maybe 5th or 6th, maybe 7th even. I did think there was a really likely chance I got to bowl Smallwood this year. But I am very, very happy with where I went, and I'm very happy with the team that we had so
Johnny
far.
took BJ Moore.
Okay.
Johnny took BJ Moore.
Teammate?
That's
What
my
are you
dog.
doing?
The sword fight continues.
Hey, I think everyone's about to catch the double-edged sword on this.
I think so, man. I think so.
Yeah. Andrew and I have had we have a year-long thing going on between us, and it started, I want to say, about a year and a half ago.
It started a while ago.
Yeah,
Where
we call
we
it a
have
sword
this
fight.
we have this mini competition, ego building contest of who beat who at what tournament. I got ahead very early, and then AJ came on real strong. So I think I'm down a little bit, but now we have some more opportunities at it.
I think the more matches we win in the league together, I think it just adds to both of our totals.
So no matter what, you stay in the lead.
Well, of course.
The question is, who's going to be able to keep up with Monticelli in the gym? I mean, that guy is just a specimen.
I think AJ
No
has the
problem.
better chance, but
You
I can
got that,
try.
AJ?
Got that.
AJ's got it. AJ's got it.
I have heard his running is a little bit more than what I would like, but
Yeah, I've heard he does some
Yeah.
cardio for sure.
yeah, I feel like he used to run like 8 miles or 10 miles before every tournament. I don't know if I'm doing that.
Yeah, and Leto's kind of crazy with that.
Yeah, no thanks.
It cuts into your beer drinking time too, so you just got to be careful about that.
Hey, no beer. We drink whiskey. We drink Jack Daniels.
Well, that's because you're at EJ Tackett's house. What's Ronnie got in his cup back there?
Same thing I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are professional athletes, folks. Do not.
That's right.
Right.
All right, thanks guys for joining us. We will let you get back to the draft.
Absolutely.
Congrats
on
being
being
Thanks for having
Thanks
us.
for having me.
Thank you,
Congrats,
guys.
fellas. Good job.
Hopefully we see you guys soon.
Yeah, we will definitely be in touch for sure.
Absolutely. Justin, let's bring the board up again. Let's update everybody on the picks that we have so
The
far.
Motown Muscles pick.
All right. So Jason Sterner went to the Philadelphia Hitmen, and BJ Moore went to the Brooklyn
Darren
Styles.
Tang. Watch.
And-
It's going to be Darren Tang.
Motown Muscle already, as you can see, has EJ Tackett, Anthony Simonson, and Josh Blanchard. Del Ballard being their manager. I think this could definitely be an interesting pick.
Nick Pate, I think he said.
Really?
It was hard to hear because I turned it down so low. Oh, Mitch Hoope.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Mitch Hoope. Oh, he was a lumberjack guy, yeah. So Mitch Hoope.
Going to the Motown Muscle.
All right.
So let's cross BJ off here and Mitch Hoope off the list. Interesting there, don't you think, Chuck? Interesting there.
Yeah. I would have thought Dell would have grabbed someone that he's experienced working with. You know, like a Darren Tang or Nick Pate or Brad Miller. They're all three Storm guys.
Yeah.
And not that he's not trying to be a team, make it a team, but he's familiar with them.
So what are we thinking Bakes is doing in this spot here? What do we think Baker is doing in this spot with the next pick here? I have an idea. I have a gut feeling. I could be totally off on this one.
Fire away.
I'm thinking DJ Archer for some reason.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. I mean, he's bowled with them before, and I wouldn't be surprised if he did it again.
That's the whole Doherty connection. I could be off on that one, but I'm thinking DJ on this one.
Okay.
What are you thinking there, Mr. Bohn? What are you thinking?
I could see it. I kind of like the pick. I like the idea. I wouldn't be surprised by that. I think Chris Vi is also a name that could go on that list. He's right down there too. Oscar Palermo is another one.
Well, I'm gonna say that he goes with Darren Tang.
Okay.
I'm gonna say he's going to Darren Tang. That's cool. Mitch Hoope. That's good. He's a good dude, man, with great ball roll.
And nice hair, too.
Yes.
He does have some. I'm jealous.
He's got great hair.
He does.
So we do
Adam
got
Splitters.
Chuck, do you want to turn your volume back up on your computer once
Sure.
again?
Chris Vi.
There we go. Chris Vi, one of the sleepers.
And if I'm not mistaken, is that the first two-hander picked?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
That doesn't really surprise me a whole lot, mainly as I could overhear Mark saying about how him watching him with all the Team USA stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark's the Team USA coach.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. So.
Bill O'Neill is hammering Barnes right now. It's pretty fun. So he's picking the anti-Chris Barnes team. He's got a two-handed righty, a two-handed lefty, and a no-thumb righty. Everything that Chris Barnes hates.
We're going to have to get him on later and see what Barney feels about that one.
Well, I will be unbelievably surprised if Darren Tang doesn't go now.
Yeah, I think he's definitely got to go this round, I think.
I mean, Carolyn's drafting now. You know, or they could grab Brad Miller. I don't know.
Yeah, Brad Miller is another big name that I wouldn't be surprised about at all.
Oh, well, and eventually someone's going to take Nick Pate, too. I mean.
Absolutely.
Someone's got to. I mean, he definitely broke out this year in Indy, and I think he's got to go. If it doesn't happen this round, it's definitely going to happen next round.
Absolutely.
But Darren Tang and Brad Miller are probably two guys that definitely will be
He's
one
probably
of the next
still
four
on mute.
picks.
Yes, we can hear you now, Chris. What do you think about
Chris had it on mute, so.
So we do got one question in the chat. Who do we think is the best lefty still available?
Oh, Packy.
Okay.
Packy.
I
mean, for that environment.
Yeah, for sure.
For that environment.
Michael Holloman is on that list as well.
Yep.
And then Matt McNeil's on the list as well.
Matt McNeil. If we go further down the list, Matt Sanders. Kenny Ryan is still on that list.
Graham Faw's on the list.
Graham Faw and Michael Martell is number 74. So there's definitely a few, but my pick is Packy.
And it's in. Good call, Chuck.
Darren Tang. It's a good pick.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a good pick.
Very good pick there.
He broke out big this year in Texas, right?
Yeah.
At the Hall of Fame Classic, but he got ran over by the Superstar Story.
Who's next?
Let's take a look at the board. Dallas
is up next. That's Mr. Duke.
Yes.
The Duke is up.
Wonder if Norm will grab Packy.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Norm Duke, Tommy Jones, Bill O'Neill. I could see Packy going right now.
You think so?
If it's not him,
Timmy Mack may grab him.
I was thinking the same thing. I think he goes by the end of this round for sure.
Oh, we forgot about Matt Sanders out there as a lefty. Did you mention
Matt Sanders is a great bowler. Listen, and so's Holloman. Mm-hmm. So's Matt McNeil is probably the most accomplished bowler of the whole group of lefties, right?
Right.
I mean,
easily.
Without a question, he's the most accomplished bowler left on the left side of the lane. Mm-hmm. Guy's an amazing talent. But in this environment, in this loud, crazy environment, I think you want someone that's just going to get up and fire it. Just let it eat.
Mm-hmm. And, my guess for Dallas's pick is going to be Brad Miller for the reason
I agree with you
that he bowled on that team last year.
He was on the team last year. Yeah. It makes sense. That's exactly where I would go because they had good chemistry.
We had Brad and Kyle on this week, Chuck, and we were talking to him, and it seems like Brad is kind of taking under Norm's wing a little bit. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Justin?
Yes.
Like he's like an understudy, basically.
Yeah.
And, the connection there. So I think Norm is probably going to go with Brad on this one. I that's my gut.
Yeah. So do I.
This is my team.
Bill, this is my team.
Oh, this is my team. There it is. The pick is in.
Let's find out. Dallas Strikers.
By the way, PBA is doing a good job. This is going well.
This is
Yeah.
This draft is in. And to announce the selection, manager Norm Duke.
All right, final call. Who do we think it's going to be?
Miller.
Brad Miller.
I was going to say the same thing.
There it is.
Brad Miller.
Last year, he did a stellar job. Awesome. And I think that since they leave last year,
Yeah, we talked about on our show either before or after about his 4-pin mishap that he keeps referencing in his vlogs about how he got up to shoot the 4-pin the one year and he was talking about it and how he just got dead lost when he got up to shoot it. He stood there and he was like, "What am I supposed to do again?"
Yeah, that was the doubles tournament, right? Wasn't it the doubles tournament?
He did it at the doubles tournament and then he did it again in the league.
Oh,
So
Justin,
go ahead.
No, I see a question here on the bottom here. This is a good one for Chuck. Want to pull that one up there, Justin?
Yeah, go ahead.
Chuck, if the league would add a few more teams next season, what are the chances you would be a manager?
I mean, I'd love to do it. I think it would be quite an honor, but I would think that the next person in line to manage a team is related to this guy up in the top corner here. I would think the next guy that gets added would probably be Parker since he's not bowling in the league anymore. But it would be a complete honor to be a manager of one of the teams. And I had a great time when the teams were branded and we did it in Jersey. What's that amusement park in Jersey?
Six Flags.
Six
Flags. And we had the Brunswick team, and Parker and Johnny were on the team. That was so much fun. And I got to manage the team because, I work for Brunswick, and that was fun.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love that. It would be a huge honor, and I'd love to do it someday. But I think there's, they're going to grab, PBA Hall of Famers and things like that.
Do you think this is going to expand more next year or in the years to come?
I wouldn't think it would be next year, though. This was a big step. I mean, financially, it's a big step for the PBA to add 10 players and managers, and financially, it's a big step. So I think it's fantastic that they did it. I think it's wonderful because some of these guys that are going to get drafted may not have gotten drafted. So.
All right, so LAX is on the clock now.
Take a look at our board here. We got Belmo, Jacob Buttriff, and Stu Williams.
Yeah, I mean, they got to be thinking about Packy, but I can't see them. I can't see them picking another left-hander.
Yeah, me either.
Although all those guys really like Packy, and I would think Packy's probably the best player.
Oh, it's in.
Well, I'm going to say it's Osku.
Okay.
All right.
I like that one. I can agree with that.
There's been some interesting picks tonight, and I rely a lot on my team to offer some opinions, help me out. We Stu did quite a few mock drafts. We've had a lot of discussion about who might be the best fit for our team. A lot of folks available that we didn't think would be, but we are going to stick with who we thought we would want to take number one at this point in the draft. We think he's a great fit for our team. He can hook it, he can throw it straight, he's comfortable on TV. A little out of the box, guys. Patrick Gerard.
Wow.
Patrick Gerard.
That is a real surprise there.
Tell you what, he's a great bowler, man.
He is. And you guys had him for a long time when he first came out on tour.
Yep.
Definitely. He's probably the one guy who should have won by now on tour, Chuck, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And now with the Timmy Mack pick coming up, I am kind of a gambling man. I would bet a little on this is going to be Packy. No question.
I'm rooting for Packy on this one.
It's almost got to be Packy. You know, he lost Simonelli. I would be floored if it's not Packy. But Timmy Mack absolutely loves Nick Pate. Loves him. Is one of his guys. He loves AJ Chapman.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some guys that he really likes.
You know, there's another guy that I just got some insight from that I also think he's a little bit further down on the list, but he's definitely a guy that needs to go too, is Greg Young.
Well, I got to tell you, Greg Young is a great bowler. There's some guys down on this list that are unbelievable bowlers that are probably not going to end up getting picked. And it's kind of a shame. I mean, Matt Ogle.
Yep.
You know, I mean, Matt deserves to be in this league. I believe Matt Ogle deserves to be in this league. Greg Young, I believe Greg Young deserves to be in this league. But when you start adding some of these other guys in that you feel are gonna get drafted, like Martin Larson, you feel like Ronnie Russell's gonna get drafted at some point. Packy's getting drafted at some point. You know how many? I mean, there's only a one round left.
Yeah.
I mean, is Timmy going with the personality of the Timmy Mack, or we got to go with if you're going to go with the personality of a Timmy Mack, who's fiery, a real like a spark plug? Is Packy the guy? Is Packy the guy to fit that Tim Mack mentality?
I think so.
And I wouldn't be surprised if for the relationship in the house, I wouldn't be surprised if he went Packy and then Nick Pate.
That's a good call, Justin.
I wouldn't be surprised if those were his two picks.
Yeah, I could see that. That's a pretty good call there.
He loves Osku too. Osku's one of his boys.
That is true.
Thanks, Zano. Great to be here with everybody. And very similar along the lines of what Andrew Kane just said. We're looking for the right player, maybe the right fit for our team. And
Another relationship they have too is Chris Prather being in the house.
who's been there multiple times over his career, who's done it not only on the world stage and also on the PBA League. And that's the great bowler from Sweden, Martin Larson.
Martin Larson.
All right.
Yep.
So that is going to conclude. Actually, no, we're not concluding anything. I'm sorry, I jumped the gun there.
That's that round.
That is the round. Yep. Martin Larson.
So we got the drafting order for round 4. It will just basically go back up the list.
We're snaking it around. So Timmy Mack will have the first pick in the 5th round.
Take a look at the updated board. Give your opinions on that so far after 3 rounds.
Well, and there it is.
So now we have who's now Marshall or Amleto? Amleto, right?
Amleto, correct. Right, Justin, am I right with Amleto?
With what? No, Tim Mack has this pick.
Well, wait a minute. They got to get their 4th round in, bro.
Yeah, they got to
don't
go
have their 4th round in yet.
Lower that.
Let me double check the PBA website. I'm pretty sure that this is what it is.
It can't be Tim Mack because those guys don't have their 4th pick.
No, it has.
It is.
It is Tim Mack.
It is. Packy Hanrahan.
Has to be Packy.
Obviously, we had a great run last year with our team, and with Ryan and Bishop being back at the draft, we felt like having a lefty in that building is incredibly important. And he's been a TV show this year, and he's coming into his own. We're going to go with everybody over 6'4" in our draft, and that's going to be Packy Hanrahan.
There it is.
Yes, sir. Packy Hanrahan.
All right, Packaracka. Hey, he's going to a great team.
A lot of knowledge of that coach, too, or the manager, rather.
I think that's huge.
Yeah.
I think it's a great pick.
The pride of the NEBA Bowling Association has been selected, Justin.
And I think that's huge, too, because Packy being from that area, bowling the Nebas beforehand, I mean, he's going to be, talk about hometown crowd.
Oh, absolutely.
Hometown favorite. On top of being on that team.
In New England? Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. He's blown out of the water.
Yeah. That is going to be a good selection there. Definitely good selection.
Let me gotta send Packy a message real quick.
Don't worry, I just did the same thing. And definitely talking about Packy. For those of you who are still watching, be sure to watch. We will actually have a live interview with Packy and Chris Forey as Buddy's Pro Shop. If you weren't on earlier, Buddy's Pro Shop is going to be the new presenting sponsor of the Bohn and Zano Zone. So we will have Chris Forey and Packy Hanrahan on Tuesday. I'm sure the PBA League is definitely going to be brought up. Like we just said, he's going to be one of the new hometown favorites for sure.
Absolutely. And it's going to be cool to talk to Packy.
Did he just say he should have gone first overall?
He said, I think they got a steal getting me here. I projected myself to go first in the draft.
Gotta love Packy.
Yeah, he fits our personality on this show well, Justin. I'm sure.
Oh, he's awesome.
Oh, he's going to.
He's going to let it rip on Tuesday. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we went out to the Players Championship, the show that Bill O'Neill won. We actually got to spend the day with him when I was doing my vlog. And he was definitely a fun time to be around. And I've been around him a little bit
who's
more.
the LAX take? Nick Pate?
Let me look at the list.
Well, Nick,
or do they take Osku?
I wouldn't be surprised about Osku at all. They got Belmo, Jacob Buttriff, Stu Williams, and Patrick Gerard. I would not be surprised if Belmo was next to go. Or Osku.
Oh. Good pick.
Who was it? I'm sorry.
Anthony Lavery.
Anthony Lavery Spar. He was on their team last year.
Yep. You know what? I thought he would have went to the Barnes team with the whole Texas connection down there and all the old boys down there. But good pick there. Definitely good pick.
They got. He was on the team last year. I think he did a really good job for him. So, So how are they doing the expansion teams? They're going to go 2 rounds together at the end.
Yeah. So
they'll
go at the end again. Yeah. I mean, they did have the first 6.
I know, but these guys got to keep Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I would have done it differently, but hey,
that's why
what?
We're sitting here, Chuck.
They didn't ask me, did they?
Nope.
Did they ask you?
Here.
No. I don't work for the PBA.
No.
Not yet.
We're independent contractors, Chuck. So we're going to go to Dallas next. What's the Duke thinking?
Let's see.
Interesting.
What is the Duke thinking on this?
Well, he's got Tommy Jones, Bill O'Neill, and Brad Miller. I say Nick Pate. That's my
Yeah?
go. My go is probably going to be Nick Pate.
What about Andres Gomez?
He's not.
Is he 100% now, Chuck? Is he back healthy?
They say he is. I don't know. I don't know.
Even over maybe an AJ Chapman?
Oh yeah, AJ Chapman's up on the list too.
Up there, and Norm. I don't know how much Norm has interacted with AJ in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This is a tough one. This is a tough one.
We got to vote in the chat for Nick Pate going to Dallas.
Yeah, Nick Pate's a great bowler, man. He needs to be in this league. Nick needs to be in this league, I think.
Absolutely. He's going to go one way or the other. Norm's taking his time on this one. You could even go Sam Cooley as another one.
Mm,
Yeah, he was on a team in the past.
yeah.
That is correct. He was. I do think that there's going to be another lefty going in this round. And if I had to pick the lefty, I'm going to go with my trivia companion, Mr. McNeil. I think that's the guy. If you're going to take a lefty, I think McNeil's the one that's going to go in this round.
Yeah, Norm's changing tape.
Yeah.
Norm's changing tape right now, delaying the field.
So basically, he balked like he did against Goebel years ago, right, Chuck? Is that what he's doing? Norm is basically balking like he did when he bowled Goebel on TV years ago.
There you go.
There we go.
There it is.
That's going to be a pretty good team this year.
It's a really good team.
Yeah, that team is going to be stacked this year.
Yeah, Nick Pate's a great little bowler. I think he's going to be a good fit for that team.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, they got Norm Duke, Tommy Jones, Bill O'Neill, Brad Miller, and Nick Pate. That's a pretty strong team there.
It's a good team.
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
a really good team. So next is Carolyn.
And
so,
she already said she's trying to keep the same guy she had from last year. So
Sam Cooley was on her team, wasn't he?
I believe so.
I can tell you though, I would be really surprised. I think there's two directions she can go. I think she could go. I think she could go Osku, or she could go AJ Chapman. I think. I think those are the guys that are going to be at the top of her list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Osku's got to go for sure very soon.
Yeah, Osku needs a home. He needs to go somewhere.
Well, listen, Osku's going. Osku's gonna go. I can tell you that. That's
yeah.
Yeah, Osku's gonna go soon.
So just an FYI of the people that that are still eligible to get picked: AJ Chapman, Jake Peters, Thomas Larson, DJ Archer, Zach Wilkins, Osku Palermo, Andres Gomez, Sam Cooley, Michael Holloman, Michael Tang, Richard Cheese, Christopher Sloan, and rounding out the top 52 is Greg Ostrander. So, and Ronnie Russell is 53rd. So I mean, there's still a decent amount of names.
Yeah, and so is Greg Young is 56th, Matt Ogle's 57th.
McNeil's 58th. There you go. I mean, you're going down the list. There's a lot of talent on that list, man. There's a lot of talent there. And I'll give you another
It's
one.
Carolyn's team.
Zeke Bate. There's another guy who's bowled well in that building.
Yep.
Zeke?
Yeah.
You can tell that this is getting very difficult. There's a lot of great players left and available, and only a handful of picks still there. But New York City is going to fill out its roster here with its last pick of this 2020 PBA League Draft. And here to make the announcement is CDB.
Well, I would be remiss if I did not mention that we were looking to try to have our team back from last year, so we were a little, shocked when BJ Moore was taken. So we were going in an opposite direction as we had game plan number 2, and we want to welcome someone who I don't think was on our radar. I mean, as in the coaches didn't think was on our radar. We want to welcome Oscu Palermo.
Wow.
Asku.
There we go.
That's a great pick. I mean, there's listen, if he didn't go there, I'm pretty sure that guy, Brooklyn Styles guy, was going to take him. So
If he lasted that long, yeah.
yeah,
So let's update the board there, Justin. That is New York City is
There we go.
completed. Their roster is set, and there you have it.
it's gonna the Atom Splitters. Is that where where was DJ Archer? What team was DJ Archer on last year?
I think he was on the Atom Splitters.
I believe so.
I know he has been in the past for sure.
Well, they're up next, and DJ is still available. Does that mean anything?
Yeah, that's my guess for Silver Lake is DJ Archer.
Oscu's on right now. It's 2:30 in the morning there.
Oh my God. So while we're waiting for this next selection, we do have a question in the chat. Who do you think is the lowest ranked player that will still get picked, or the lowest sleeper that can still get picked? Looking at the list. There's a lot of good names on this list that
So many.
that I don't know if there is a bottom. I mean,
No.
even going as low as 75th, even eligible. I mean, Chris Loschetter is 73rd, and he's bowled on the team. Michael Martell is just out of college. I mean, he's had a pretty good year or two. Michael Davidson's fairly new out of college. Jake Rollins is fairly new out of college. Pontus Anderson has had some success recently. I mean, those are guys down really low that can probably still get picked.
You forgot one name on that list that you didn't mention, who I know he doesn't meet the criteria for Hall of Fame.
Go ahead.
Ryan Schaefer.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right. Is he in?
Yeah, he's in 70.
He's on that. Yeah, he's on that list.
Yeah, I mean, that's a guy who, he's been around forever. He knows how to win in every environment. I mean, that's just a grinder. He knows how to play the game. That would be my one sleeper pick if I had to give you one.
Zach Wilkins, obviously Palermo, off that list now that is kind of look at the top 5 at this moment as we wait for the pick to come in, Bill.
I think he takes AJ Chapman.
It makes the most sense.
I think Bakes takes AJ Chapman.
It makes the most sense. It really does. All right, we're in.
Tom's dead, so hopefully Bakes won't be dead. Tom was dead.
All right, Mark Baker, go ahead with your pick.
Are we good?
So I think we'll actually let this pick go for a quick minute. We have the twin fin Oscar Palermo in the broadcast now. What's up, Oscar? How are you doing?
Oscar, welcome. How are you, sir?
What's up, Oscar?
Hello, Chucky.
Good work, buddy.
Welcome, Oscar.
So
Chapman
Bakes just took AJ Chapman.
I will put him on the list. So are you excited for this year with the Kingpins? Going with Darren Tang, Kyle Sherman, Marshall Kent, and Pete Weber.
I can't hear him, Justin.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah,
go ahead.
now.
Yeah, it's whenever you get to be there, it's great. But that team, I've known everybody in the team for a long time, so that definitely helps.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. That was another really good team put together. I think a pretty well-rounded team, and that's going to be another good team to look out for this year.
It will, and yeah, like I actually mentioned in the draft, the lane's going to be trashed.
Yeah. Well, the good thing, Oscar, is you have really bowled good over the last year or so, and you had some issues over the last couple years. You weren't bowling quite as well as you had been. Don't know if it was injuries. Don't know if it was just not seeing the lane right. But man, you have surely bowled good this year, and it kind of sucks that the season kind of got cut short as good as you were throwing it. And I mean, obviously you're back. There's no question about it.
It's sad in a way, but like I'm not 100% yet. Life happened, and then injuries happened, and all this happened. So I was on an evil circle there for a while, but I'm almost 100% now. Not 100% yet, but getting there.
Well, we want to see it 100%, but we want to see it back in the States soon. It's always a pleasure watching you on the lanes. And
I feel better than I've probably felt for 10 years. Today I went bowling, I went to the gym, and then I went play paddle tennis for 2 hours, and I still had energy left. So
Jesus.
Yeah, not too bad for 36-year-old with a gray hair.
So, Oscar, Oscar, I got a message from my mom who's actually in watching, and we still got your shirt that you gave Brandon from a long time ago, and she even said that you used to babysit us when we were a lot younger.
Oh, you were tiny.
I bet.
Your sister, she was basically a baby.
She still is,
and then we had you two frats there too, running around.
Yeah, that's Brandon's job now.
It was a great time. We were there with Veronica, and we had a blast.
All right, well,
great family.
Oscar, thank you for joining us, and we'll let you get to bed. We know it's really late.
Matt McNeil just got picked by Del Ballard.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, excuse
us.
Matt
McNeil.
Does he not hate lefties? Well, what?
Well, he wanted a lefty on the team. You know he hates lefties.
You need a.
He's the president of the I Hate Lefty Club, the IHL.
Oscar, thank you for joining us, and get some sleep.
Thank
you. All right. Thanks, Oscar.
See you, brother. Be good.
Oscar Palermo, ladies and gentlemen. Good spot there. 2:30 in the morning he's joining us. Now, that's dedication.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man.
Very good dude there. And
so an update on the board, as we missed a few of them, if you want to say. Matt McNeil being the most recent one getting picked, going to the Motown Muscle, one of the sleepers, one of the lower names on the list. AJ Chapman went to the Silver Lake. Oscar, like we just said, went to the Kingpin. So, I mean, Brooklyn Styles is up now. Let's see what Johnny P's got.
Let's see what Rags has up his sleeve. Our neighbor, Justin, what is he thinking?
I mean, this could go a few ways. I mean, he could go with a hometown guy. He could go with someone big. I mean, there's a few ways he could go with this one.
I still got to say Ronnie Russell needs to find a home.
Yeah, for sure.
Ronnie Russell needs to find a home. Chuck, you're going to agree with that one?
I do, but it won't be here.
No?
No.
I think Chuck has some insider knowledge that he's not letting on.
I do.
It's not going to be here. It's going to be the next one when the Hitmen get their pick again.
Yeah, the Hitmen will probably take him next. Ronnie Russell will not be picked here. So
you heard it here first.
Johnny is getting his pick. The guy he wanted right here is available, and
what Johnny wants, Johnny gets.
Absolutely, and he should, and he should.
Rightfully deserving.
Darn right.
We have another member, the newest member of the Dallas Strikers, Nick Pate. Nick, how you doing tonight?
Nick.
Welcome, Nick.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Nice job, kid. Congrats.
Thanks, Chuck. Appreciate it.
So, expectations for the league as you are a first-timer.
Kind of compose myself because it's a different animal out there. I bowled there once when they had that bracket, that 64 bracket, and you drew for names. However, I got strep that week, so I was not my best that week and never got to fully enjoy it. So I'm going to enjoy it this year, and I'm going to try and compose myself and who better to watch than like Norm Duke or Tommy Jones.
Here comes Mr. Petraglia.
Oh, we have the pick coming in.
All right, well, thanks, Nick, for joining us, and best of luck this year in the 2020 PBA
guys.
League.
Good luck, Nick. Thank you for your time, bud.
See ya.
Thomas Larson. That was his guy. He really wanted Thomas on his team. Obviously, Thomas is great friends with Brad Angelo. He's a guy that can play off of Walter Ray. He's a guy that can play just right of Jason Sterner. And they, I'm going to tell you, they might be okay.
They're the sleeper team, and you better look out for them. And we actually still have the GOAT in, Walter Ray.
Oh,
should we ask him for his opinion?
Oh, absolutely. I'm pretty sure Walter Ray's going to be very happy with that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Walter Ray Williams Jr., welcome back, Walter Ray.
Hey, guys.
Walter Ray's going to like that pick. That's a good pick.
Thomas is a great bowler. I think he, was lower picked on the list partly because he's not an overly exciting player. Doesn't have the super high rev rate, that some of the other players do. So he's kind of a sleeper guy. I actually told Johnny, I said I would be really surprised if he gets picked, and for your second pick. So I know Johnny was really wanting to get Jason Sterner on the team. Yeah. Personally, I told him I'd go with Matt McNeil. He was my big first pick, but I think Matt is an unbelievable player. He only bowls part-time on tour, and when he does bowl, he bowls phenomenal. And I think he and Rhino probably could have played off of each other very well. BJ's obviously a great player. He just hooks up way more than the rest of us. So that's going to be kind of interesting. Thomas and Brad, they bowled together in the doubles tournament. They bowled the doubles tournament this year, and they beat my partner and myself, Nate Garcia, at an over and under doubles tournament. We finished second to them, but definitely a great player. And BJ, I think we got a great team. We just got to get things going well, and hopefully I'll be able to walk by the time this thing comes around.
Definitely the sleeper team, though, for sure.
Walter Ray,
I think on paper, I'm not a super high ranked player anymore. But the reality is you're only throwing 4 frames in an hour, and that's probably one of my biggest deficits is throwing a shot every 12 or 15 minutes. That people don't realize how much time is in between those shots.
Here comes the Philadelphia Hitmen coming up. Does Ronnie Russell go here?
Pretty good job with that, but it's just a matter of getting lined up and figuring out what to do.
All right, thanks for your insight, Walter Ray.
Thank you, Walter Ray.
You're welcome. Thanks.
Matt Ogle.
Really?
Your boy, Chuck.
Wow, that's great.
That's a Chuck boy right there.
That's one of my boys right there. I'm glad Matt got in the league. I think
Chuck's excited about that one.
I am really excited about that one. I am very, very, very excited about that one. Matt wanted to be in the league really badly, and he can bowl, man. The kid, he can let it go. He is not afraid to let it go, and that's awesome.
That's good for Matt. So
plus he's going to get to bowl with Sterner. You know, they're good friends. I think it makes good sense. Couch, you know.
So we have.
There's Ogle.
So Justin, we have 4 spots left. It's been a great night so far. Where are they going? Where are the 2 newbies going here? What are they thinking?
And
this will be Marshall's pick here, right? Marshall will have the next pick.
Let me check the drafting order. This will be Marshall's pick. Yes.
This will be Marshall's pick.
So far, let's take a look at this board again. So they got Sean Rash, Ryan Simonelli, and Dick Allen.
So where are we? If we're going with the personality of Marshall, what fits the Marshall Holman mold on the board? That's left on the list.
DJ Archer.
Jay Archer. I gotta say, Ronnie Russell does too. He does.
And you know who I think wouldn't surprise me?
Who's
that? Michael Tang.
Yeah.
It would not surprise me if he went on Marshall's team. I watched him bowl on the doubles show with his brother when Billy O and Belmo won. And there were some times where Mikey got pretty hyped up.
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised if Marshall did go with that guy.
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of possibilities still.
This is going to get really hairy right here.
This is where it gets interesting. This is where the fun stuff starts now.
Brew City's pick is in.
All right. Let's hear it.
We got a question in the chat for a prediction on Vegas. Is Vegas going to pick anyone over 30?
Yes, they will. Chris Sloan.
Really?
Chris Sloan.
Oh, interesting one there.
Interesting.
And for those of you who don't know him, he made this show at the Masters last year.
Yes.
When Butters won.
Yep.
That's an interesting one there.
That's an interesting pick. That was definitely not my first guess, but
no,
definitely a good pick though for sure.
Oh well, Greg Ostrander is checking in, and he's saying he can't hear us for some reason. I don't know why, Greg.
Tell Greg to turn his volume up.
Yeah, I'm thinking that as well.
Chris is on from Dublin right now. So, Amleto's pick. Who do you guys think?
Looking at what's left here,
I still got to say Michael Tang.
Yeah,
I think he's one. I wouldn't really be surprised about Ronnie Russell or Greg Young looking at the list.
I still kind of like Zeke Bate. I know he's down on the list a little bit, but he's in that building.
Yep.
He's been in that atmosphere before. I don't think Zeke Bate would be a bad pick.
Oh no. Not a bad pick at all.
Another one who's very underrated.
Yeah. He's not going to go now, though. I don't see it. I'll tell you who I think is going to go right now. Andres Gomez.
That's a good one.
He's a great bowler. He's a great friend of Amleto's.
You know what? I agree with that pick a lot, actually.
Yeah. And it'll be good to see Andres back on the lanes. I know he had some injuries recently, and a real good guy.
Richie Teese.
Wow.
Wow.
It's an interesting one, but
yeah,
I can see that. He had a pretty good run, I think, out in Oklahoma. I think he had his.
He beat Walter Ray. No, he beat Smallwood for his title at the Scorpion Championships.
Oh, that's right. He does have a title on
Scorpion. Yeah, he won it in Reno.
Yep. So let's take a look at our list one more time. Only 2 picks left.
That's it.
Who will it be? I mean, there's not really a bad team on this list right now.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see who goes next. And Las Vegas gets a pick again.
Yes.
Yeah, so now Andres goes.
You think so, Chuck?
I do.
It does make the most sense. It does.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, I you know who else I wouldn't think that he would be against picking too. I mean, Greg Young is a good fit.
Yep.
But Arturo Quintero.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think about him.
Another good friend of Emleto's. Emleto likes personalities that are similar to him, right? He loves those lower key. Richie's a great pick for Emleto.
Yeah. And there's another one on that list too, Ildemar Ruiz.
Yeah.
There's another one.
He's another one.
Eldemaro can strike too now.
Yeah.
May not be the greatest of spare shooters, but Eldemaro can strike.
And all you got to do is just strike in this event. You're only throwing 2 balls a frame.
Yeah.
2 balls a game, rather. I'm sorry. All right. It was a little weird how they let the new expansion teams pick the last 2 like this instead of doing it in the respective round that everybody else did. Little odd, but
yeah,
each his own.
Yeah. Now they're having another commercial.
All right, so let's take a couple questions from the chat if we have anything out there, Justin. This is all on you.
All right, I'll actually hop off the stream for 2 minutes and let you guys look through the questions. I'll pop them up on the screen and see what we got.
All right, Chuck, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's see, what do we got here? Let's see here. Well, David here. Picks are more based on the personality of the manager or the chemistry of the team because the skill is rather equal across the board.
I agree.
Yeah.
And it should be, right, David? I mean, that makes perfect sense. You wouldn't want a guy like Emleto who's super low key, chill, laid back, really relaxed guy. You wouldn't see him picking a Sean Rash or a Ryan Simonelli. You just wouldn't. It just doesn't make and that's why I never thought that Sean Rash was going to be Emleto's first pick. Just because the personalities don't mesh. And it should be, because it's a team event. It's about chemistry. It's about figuring out how you can bowl together as a great team. So chemistry is huge.
Andres for Vegas and Schaefer to Milwaukee. Pat Nolan.
You know what, Pat? Those would both be very good picks.
And I said it, I think we talked about Schaefer earlier as the most experienced one that's down on the list, that's left. There's a guy he should have a lot more than he has. But Schaefer would be a good pick. Schaefer would be a good pickup right there.
Here's Emleto's pick.
There we go.
Ildemaro Ruiz.
Ruiz going to Vegas.
Ildemaro Ruiz from Venezuela.
Again, another one of Emleto's friends, and
yep,
that's a pretty good one. And to be honest, not really quite a surprise.
You know, It's a little bit of a surprise, to be honest. I'm surprised it wasn't. I'm surprised it wasn't Andres, but maybe there are some maybe he's not healthy. Maybe he's not 100% ready yet, and that could be it.
Yeah.
So
who do we think is going to be the last pick? There's a few guys on this list that we've said all night long that could be that last pick. Ronnie Russell has been a name that's been brought up many, many times. DJ Archer yet does not have a home. The highest guy on the list, Jake Peters. There's a few. Sam Cooley's still available. Michael Holloman, Zach Wilkins, Michael Tang.
Otero's on there too.
I don't think it's going to be a lefty. They already got a lefty. They got Sim. So I think the lefties are in trouble.
All right, so let's go around the room really quick. Justin, who's the guy? Who's your last pick?
Let me look at the board one more time. I think I'm going to go with DJ Archer.
That's a good one, and his personality is good for that place too.
Yep, I think it's DJ Archer. I think Marshall's got a good place for him with his personality in that building. I think it's DJ Archer.
Chuck studying.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, who do you got?
I want to say Ronnie, but my gut's saying no. Looking at it,
keep in mind Sean's going to have some influence in this.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to give you one, and this name has not been brought up at all tonight, not once. Okay. And they have the connection with Sean from their days at Wichita. I'm going to go Nathan Bohr.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a far stretch, but I mean, you know what? If Sean has his, has his input, Bohr's a guy who's been there before. He has the experience. He has the team experience.
Him and Jake Peters both have that Wichita connection.
Jake Peters definitely does.
Yes, that's another one. Correct. So that would be mine.
I think it's going to be Sam Cooley.
All right.
I could see that too.
The global connection.
And what makes sense there is when Marshall was the coach or has been around the USA versus the World show.
Yeah.
And Sam Cooley has been on that show a couple of times. That doesn't surprise me.
I think the best player available is Ronnie Russell.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%.
He's
Ronnie
been there
Russell's
a lot.
The best player available. He's been there. Zeke Bate.
Wow.
There you go.
There it is.
All right.
That fits his personality too.
There is some real Sean Rash influence there.
Yeah. All right. So let's take a look at this final draft board.
Well, Dick Allen bowl doubles with Zeke Bate.
Yep.
Sean really likes Zeke. Yeah, so it's that's an interesting pick. Zeke is a great bowler.
Very underrated.
Yep.
Really underrated bowler. But I think it's interesting that Ronnie Russell, Greg Ostrander,
DJ Archer,
Greg Young, DJ Archer, Michael Holloman, Michael Tang, Andres Gomez, Zach Wilkins. None of those guys got picked.
Yeah, that is interesting.
All right, so looking at this board, who do we think? Who's our pick to win the Elias Cup? Jeez. And there's a lot of good teams on this board.
The sleeper team is Brooklyn and with Johnny.
Yeah.
That's sleeper team.
Yep.
I mean, you got a mix of everybody there, and that's my sleeper team. A favorite? It's hard to say, Justin. It really is.
I'll go ahead with mine, and I think it's Dallas Strikers.
It's a good pick.
Yeah.
I think they got a real good selection with the first 3 that they saved. They're all really good friends. And then Brad Miller and Nick Pater in the house.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good one right there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go with Tim Mack defends his title. Wes, Kyle, Prather, Martin Larson, and Packy. I actually think they got better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly as good. Obviously Packy is not Ryan Simonelli, but I believe 100% that Packy's going to bowl unbelievable.
Yeah.
And Martin Larson is just a great player. By far the best player in years and years and years without a PBA title. By far.
Yeah, for sure. So we got a pick from Dad, Parker Bohn. He says Portland as well.
Yeah, and the other thing about Portland too is Timmy Mack just has all the experience too, and he's a plethora of knowledge on the lanes.
Yeah,
and you know what? If you're struggling or you need a little boost or whatnot, Timmy is just a cheerleader from the sidelines. He will get you guys fired up.
Yeah.
And then you got Troop. I mean, that's a
he has 4 guys that he works with on tour.
Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you got Wes, Kyle, Prather, and Martin that he works with on tour. And Packy's a lefty who is not really a guy that's going to require a lot of
hand-holding
guidance. Yeah, he's going to get up there, get in the zone where he's most comfortable, and he is just going to fire it and let it eat.
Just stand on the big dot and throw it at 10. And
that's what he's going to do, man.
That's it. There's not much to think about.
No, and that's listen. When you look at the left-handed bowling population in general, okay, there's been so many great left-handed bowlers, but the one thing they all had in common, the great ones, they were not afraid to throw it for the cheese.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay?
Absolutely.
That it was, those guys just get up there. They know what they do. As great a bowler as Parker Bohn is, and still is, in my opinion, as great a bowler as he is, when he was in the moment and had a chance to actually win, there wasn't a lot of thinking going on. He locked, he loaded, and he went. So he was never really super analytical. That's not Parker Bohn.
The gears weren't grinding, no.
Right. People, their gears grind too much. Listen, I think Chris Barnes, if his gears didn't grind so much, he'd have 25 titles by now.
Right.
25.
Yeah.
So, and you look at guys like, Albee and Johnny and just, all the really great left-handers. Earl was not really that cerebral when he bowled. He just got up and let it go. And I think it's kind of the culture of a lot of great bowlers. You look at Pete Weber, you look at Leto, you look at Marshall. You don't see guys that take a lot of time that are super thinkers. You just don't see that. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's really important on the left side of the lane. I just do, because you can't be trying to fit it in there when you've got 5 boards at the break point. Just use it.
You don't want to thread the needle. Exactly.
No.
So just an FYI, Leto is going to join us tonight. We're probably going to stay live for about another 30 minutes till about 9:30, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, there's definitely a few people that want to still talk, that are getting off the phone call with their team or things like that. So for those of you who are still watching, please stick around. Yep. We're going to have another fun-filled 30 minutes.
We're not going anywhere. Justin, it appears that Mrs. Williams wants to see your hoodie. At least buy him dinner. At least buy him dinner first, Fancy. And
so the backstory about this is it's actually our logo for my YouTube channel, my vlogs, all that good stuff. So if you want to check it out, Justin Bohn or Team Bohn. To be honest, I'm not really sure what it is on my YouTube channel. I tried to go change my name on my email, and it went back to Justin Bohn for whatever the reason. So
what a cheap plug that was for you.
Yeah, goes to show how much attention I show.
Seriously.
But Justin Bohn on YouTube, go check it out. We do some vlogs of local tournaments in our area, and hopefully when this whole thing gets lifted, it'll definitely be a pretty good time. So
definitely. Speaking of hoodies, this is Gardner. Did we give one away tonight?
Oh, absolutely. We're giving one away, aren't we?
We are giving
we
one away.
are.
Justin, we'll monitor that, I guess, when we are concluded here.
What are you doing? Taking it from people that ask questions, or?
So anyone who actually shared the post or shared that we were going live tonight was entered in the draft.
Oh, cool.
So we will check on that, get our numbers put together or our list put together, and go ahead and probably announce that one tomorrow, just to make sure we don't miss any names or anything along those lines. So
just let Deb know where to send it and what size.
All right, we'll do.
She'll get it out right away.
All right, we'll do. We'll get that out tomorrow to you guys for sure.
Yep. Chuck, I got to get a couple of your Bowl4Life shirts as well. And for the audience, where can they get some of your apparel? I know you got the T-shirts and some stuff. Where can the general public get some of this stuff?
They can go right to the Bowl4Life page on Facebook, or go to bowl4life.com and just go to shop. And there's T-shirts, there's hoodies, there's long sleeve T-shirts, there's ladies shirts, there's jersey. The jerseys are a pain right now because Logo Infusion is actually not really up and operational right now.
Mm-hmm.
So getting jerseys would be tough right now because we get those made to order.
Yeah,
but we have a bunch of everything else. We have T-shirts. We have these really cool. What are these things called?
Yetis.
Yeah, like a Yeti kind of thing. We've got these. We've got all kinds of stuff. So just go check out the Bowl4Life page and get whatever you want.
There you
get
go.
Whatever you want, and every dime goes to the kids.
That's what I was just going to say. Every dime goes right back to the foundation. And I said this to you when we did our commentary over the summer. I wish that this was around 20 years ago when I was bowling in the juniors. It's people like you that make this game so great, and you and your wife. So kudos to you guys. And like I said, I definitely want to be a part of the event in the fall with you guys and give back to the community.
Absolutely, man.
So what else do we got here in the chat? Do we got anything else here?
Yeah, Justin's taking a break, so
yeah, Justin is off the camera here. So I thought it went pretty good tonight, Chuck. I mean, we're with 2.5 hours so far, and a lot of good stuff. We had some pretty cool guests on tonight.
Oh, absolutely.
And we do have more to come. I know Amleto is joining us later on tonight.
When? Saturday? My wife just let me know the scholarship we're currently doing right now, they have to be postmarked by this Saturday.
There you go.
So kids, if you're watching, get them in, postmarked by Saturday.
Welcome back, Justin.
So, sorry, I just made a quick phone call. We are going to actually have 2 coaches or 2 managers of 2 different teams that are going to join us. Carolyn Dorn-Ballard is going to be joining us here very shortly.
Oh,
that's awesome.
That's a big spot. And will she be with Amleto at the same time, or we're going to have them separate?
How about we just bring on Amleto right about now?
That's a great idea.
Oh,
what's up, brother? What a great job you did, dude.
Man.
What a nice team.
It was really, I had some choices, and we talk about it. And the only guy that I really wanted it, and they picked him right before I wanted, was Matt McNeil. And but it is what it is. I think my first 3 choices, I think they're really good players that they can stay in. Like my safe players for the future. But the other 2 guys, it's very tough because all those guys are really good. And for example, Ildemaro, he's a great team player. I mean, the chemistry he gets to it. he's bowling a lot better, and I know that he can bring a lot to it, and I feel that he's really close to win. And then Richard Tees, I bowled with him many times. I know he's a great player. He never give up. I mean, he's always fighting hard, and that's the type of bowlers that you want. And most of them are pretty young, and I know they're very hungry too. So that's really good.
Well, I mean, you've built a team. You know, your franchise players. You're in nothing at all against Richie and tomorrow, but your core, those first 3 picks. I mean, those guys could be on your team for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's wonderful. Those were really great picks, and you did a super job, and you got the right personalities for you.
Absolutely.
And for what and for the type of chemistry and the type of demeanor that you want to create. You got the right guys.
Yes, and that's what I think. You know, when you're gonna build a team, it's a lot of things that you need to see besides being great bowlers. You know, people that you know that they, besides they can play in different lane conditions, they can adapt. They know a lot about the game, the breakdown of the lanes, and then also the mental toughness that you need in those type of things. Because let's make sure and let people know that they're gonna bowl only 2 frames. Okay. So it's not like they're going to bowl the whole game, right? Each of them. So when you really think in a crucial situation, what we need to make sure is that whenever things are not going right, and you need to make a decision about what you're going to do, if you're going to change balls, change angles, whatever decision they're going to make, they have to really believe 100% that's going to work, even if it's not a certainty about it. And those are the people that's the way I want to build this team. Knowing that you have to know that whatever decision, it cannot be one self-doubt because it's going to go wrong, and that's going to be my way of building this team in that time of, because it's going to be, you need to strike. When you don't strike, you need to spare. But when it comes at the end, in the crucial situation, I know I can teach them how to manage their emotion at those moments, and that's what I'm great for, I think.
Absolutely.
That's awesome, man, Leto. We will get back to you in a few minutes. We actually have someone else in the studio that we would like to talk to for 2 or 3 minutes. Chris Vi is in the studio, so Leto, we'll see you in a few minutes.
Hold tight, because I got a tough question for Leto when we get back to him.
Okay.
All right, Leto. Talk to you in a few.
Thank you.
All right. Chris Vi, how are you?
Yo, is my mic working this time?
It's perfect, kid.
Beautiful. All right.
Hey, congratulations, young man.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Chuck. Thanks.
Yeah, man. That's awesome.
So, being picked to the Silver Lake Atom Splitters with Chris Barnes, Jesper, Tom Doherty, and AJ Chapman. What do you think? What do you think about it?
The anti-Chris Barnes team, we were told tonight.
Yeah, apparently the anti-Chris Barnes team. But it's much earlier than I expected, honestly. I didn't really expect to go in that first round where, all the teams are selecting. I thought I was going to be on the reverse side of that snake draft. But, I've worked with Bakes in the past, being a part of Team USA. I was on the gold winning team with Tommy, or Tommy as well, but Barnes and then Tom Doherty. I've had a really good relationship with him on and off the lanes for the past several years. Jesper and I have become pretty close. We've traveled a lot internationally together. And obviously AJ was on Team USA with me as well. So, I have a really good connection with all the guys on the team. And, I think I'm really excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. A good fit for you right there, my friend. Definitely.
So, yeah, it may be a little earlier than you thought you were going to go, but the reality is the work you've put in and what you've done over the last couple of years. I mean, let's be realistic. And I you know me, I don't sugarcoat anything. You had to be 6 or 8 months ago going, is this really what I'm destined to do? Is this really what my future is? You had to have those thoughts. Because you always threw it great, but it just never was clicking. And then all of a sudden, you're like unbeatable. Like you went from a guy who was cashing maybe 50% of the tournaments to the man. mean, unbelievable how great that was to watch, dude. I mean, unbelievable how great it was.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, thank you very much for the kind words. But yeah, I mean, I'll be 1000% completely honest. There's been several different times, I've called my parents after a bowling tournament and told them, like, I'm just done. Like, I'm just fed up with it. I've had a lot of experiences, on tour that weren't very good. And, it's nothing to do with the people. I love traveling. I love the people that I'm with. But it's very stressful to get your face beat in and week out. And I mean, it was to the point where my really good weeks were sneaking into the last couple, spots for a check. It wasn't even remotely close to making a TV show. And it just got to the point where, I was like, listen, like, I'm putting everything I have into it, and we're going to give it a go. And if, a year or so from now, it's still in the same spot, then maybe this just wasn't my thing. Maybe there's a different route that I can go. But I wasn't going to go, without a fight. So I've put in a lot of work. I've worked with a lot of different people to kind of get my game more centered around, what it's like on tour. And the last month or so, it's starting to pay off. So it's a really good feeling.
Yeah, you've definitely had a huge run, especially at the last two majors, making the show in both of them. I remember your days at the Coldwater Regional a long time ago.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us tonight. We have another one in the chat that we would like to talk to, but thank you. Congrats on being selected for a team, and best of luck this year.
Of luck, Chris. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Thank you guys for having me on.
Take care,
Can't
buddy.
wait to see you, buddy. Can't wait to
All
see
right.
you.
We'll
Chris
see you soon,
Live.
Chuck. Take care, man.
All right, so
Who's up next?
let's see. Who do we want to ask a question to? Carolyn Dorn Ballard or Amleto Monicelli?
Well, you want to have ladies first. I mean, that is the right thing to do. The pride of Linden, New Jersey, right? Or Union, New Jersey should be coming up.
So you want to go ladies first?
Let's bring the Jersey girl on.
All right. Carolyn, how you doing?
I am doing fine. How about yourself?
We're good, Carolyn. Thank you for
Good.
minutes.
Not a problem. Thanks for asking.
The pride of New Jersey.
Well, thank you, but let's say one of. How about that?
Fair.
Mom sent me a message. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say
Okay.
one of. There's many. Well, I am honored to say that there are many great bowlers that have come out of the state of New Jersey. So let's put it that way, right?
Okay, well said.
Yeah, Mom sent me a message as soon as the show got done, and she's still watching. She was like, "Are you gonna get Carolyn on?" I was like, I hadn't really messaged her, and she goes, "Well, here's her number. Give her a call." I was like, "Okay."
To the girl power.
Yeah.
Yes. Right.
So
Hey, you had a nice draft, man. Really nice.
We did well. I will say we had a list, and I do talk with Pete, Marshall, and Kyle. I always have. I've always included the team because it really is one of the biggest things that I see. It is about team chemistry. You can throw the ball great, but that doesn't mean you're meshing or you're going to perform. But the team chemistry seems to be really the key ingredient. And that, of course, as you know, bowling in Portland, it brings out the best in everybody. It gets you into the moment. But there has to be a chemistry where you just kind of know you can rely on each other and you're there for each other. And if you're bowling fifth one, the first time, maybe the next set you're in third. Nobody gets their feelings hurt. It's kind of just for the good of the team. But I will say there were some surprises tonight. I will say that. And of course, we had to make a few adjustments because we were hoping to have our same team back at first because that team really had great chemistry. But we're very happy.
Good stuff there.
What do you think was the biggest surprise of the draft?
Let me look on my little sheet that I have my notes on. I hate to answer that question because I really don't want anybody to get their feelings hurt. I really don't. But
Carolyn, you're from Jersey.
Come on now.
You're from Jersey.
I get it. What you see is what you get, Chuck. I know, I get it. But everybody tries their hardest, and everybody wants to be a part of this great event. But I will tell you some of the ones towards the end: Zeke Bate, Matt Ogle, Il Demaro. I like it, and I like them all. I really do because honestly, I'm looking at people who didn't get chosen, like DJ Archer, who's bowled well there the last few years. Andres Gomez, great player, bowled well there. And there was somebody else I had in my notes here, but another surprise, a Richie Teese coming back, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a difficult decision because again, we kept 3 players. We only get 2. There's a list of 75. I mean, that's a lot of bowlers. And again, it goes back to chemistry and maybe even meshing with the manager. But me, I kind of take myself out of it. I've been fortunate enough to have the 3 I've kept. Kyle definitely is the new one to the group, obviously after last year. But it's a hard decision. But there's some good teams, and there are some good teams that have new players on them. So it's going to be interesting to watch.
We can't wait for this thing to get started, and hopefully we get dates for it soon and get everybody out there nice and safe.
I agree.
Well, thank you for your time, Carolyn. We hate to cut it short, but thanks for joining us last minute, and best of luck this year in the 2020 PBA League.
Good to see everybody. Stay safe. All right. Bye.
Carolyn, Doran, and Ballard. And are we going to bring back the pride of Barquisimeto, Justin?
We can bring back Amleto, or we can talk to the guy that we're actually going to talk to on Tuesday. Mr. Packy Hanrahan is in the house. Packy, what's up?
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
How are you?
Pretty good.
So before we get into anything about the PBA League, we're actually going to talk about our show. We're going to do one on Tuesday with you at 6 o'clock with Chris Forey.
Yeah, pumped about that.
So
we're going to let that one fly on Tuesday, bud.
Yeah. It's
we've been so conservative tonight, haven't thrown anybody under the bus or anything like that tonight. So
yeah, we've been kind of G-rated tonight.
Yeah, so we were really looking forward to seeing you get picked. We talked with Chris before the show, and he was really rooting for you. He even had his shirt on. It was a good time. So we actually think that you are going to be the hometown crowd, not only being on Portland's team, but being from that area, bowling Nebas all the time. What are your expectations going into the league?
I don't really have any expectations besides probably to win. But no, I mean, it should be fun. I've only heard good things about that environment, and I love the crowds that come out, get the opportunity to play to it, which should be something fun for sure.
Yeah, and you got some personalities on your team with Troop and Wes and Timmy Mack. I mean, if you can't get fired up by Timmy Mack, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah, I love those guys.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to be unbelievably hard to beat, and we talked about it before the show with Chris, and the no question about it. We felt like you were going to be, one of the best picks in the draft because of you're just going to let it go. You're going to load up and you're going to throw it, and you're going to commit to the shot. And you're going to give it 100. There's not going to be any finesse. You're not going to be trying to, as Mike said earlier, thread the needle in there. You're just firing it. Let it go.
Stand on the big dot and throw it.
Yeah, that's why you and Simonelli were by far, going to be the 2 top picks on the left side of the lane. And not you guys aren't that different, right? I mean, you guys let it eat. You throw it and knock the holes out of it and let's go, man.
Yeah, and I was looking forward to the opportunity because I've heard that they are a little softer up there during the league. They try and make the scores a little higher, and I mean that's something I love for sure. Definitely love bowling on the house shots. Typical lefty for sure. I mean,
hey, we talked
like
about
the bowl when they're easy.
We talked about it before the show, and it would be tough. It would be a tough decision for me right now if I had to pick any lefty in the world to throw a shot for me when they're soft, whether it would be you or Sim, right? Like it's one of you two. I go, boys. Let that thing go. And believe that it's gonna strike. Like you got it.
So, thanks, appreciate that.
So Packy, we will let you go, and we'll definitely have more conversations, more big stories. So be sure to tune in on Tuesday at 6 o'clock right here on the Bohn and Zano Zone. We got Packy, Hanrahan, and Chris Forey.
Thanks
It's
for letting
definitely
me
going to be a good one.
pop in.
We'll see you Tuesday, Packy.
I'll see you guys Tuesday.
A big fro with Troop in Portland too. So start working on the hair, bud.
I'll let it grow out till then.
There you
All
go.
right.
We'll see you
Talk to
Tuesday.
you soon, brother.
See ya.
Thank you,
Congrats.
guys.
And there's Packy Hanrahan. So Justin, who's next on the schedule?
So we had, I know I'm Leto's sitting there. What the heck? You're getting pushed back again. But we got one more guy who went a lot earlier than he thought, and probably got picked at all. We were texting back and forth today, and he wasn't even sure if he was going to get picked. But he went pick number 7, and the first pick of one of the new teams. Jason Sterner is in the house. Jason, what's up?
The Flash.
Flashy in the house.
What's up, guys?
How
Thanks
are
for
you?
having me. Oh, I am much better now.
So
much better.
walk through those few minutes where you're obviously hoping to get picked at all. But
Yeah.
going as early as you did, walk us through it.
Well, when it got started, like I mentioned, I thought I was hopeful that I would get picked, and it would be towards the end. So I thought in the beginning I had time to go get something to eat, maybe a sweet tea or something, and then here we are going in number 7. So that was just lucky number 7, I guess, if I could look at it that way. But I was almost like speechless. I mean, my hair kind of stood up on the back of my neck, like, wait, did he just say my name? So. Yeah, and then here comes the flashing feeds. So I was that
rightfully deserved too. I mean, there's nobody that works harder on the game than this guy here. I mean, every time you look at him, it's always at the lanes. I mean, nobody deserves it more than you, bud. So congratulations.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I always see you.
I know
working hard.
I know from a really reliable source.
Oh God.
Really reliable. You were going in that first round one way or the other.
Oh yeah, well.
Yeah. You had a few guys on that Brooklyn Styles team that wanted you on the team real bad.
Yeah.
So obviously Johnny as one, and
for sure.
Brad Angelo. Brad Angelo really wanted you on the team, and of course the GOAT. So having all you were going in that first round one way or the other. So would have been. I think you're on a great team. You're going to mesh well with them, and Couch is a great guy.
Oh yeah,
and you're gonna enjoy that team.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun. The 5 of us. We're all really good friends, so that's gonna be already in our favor right there. The team chemistry is gonna be up.
Smallwood said that he tried to get you blocked from the team, but they took you anyway.
Ah, damn.
You did stirring the pot.
I'm about to check in on that. I got to check with that.
Chuck doing what he does best. Oh, God.
Well, congratulations, brother.
Thanks,
Definitely
Chucky.
well deserved, Chase, and best of luck to you this year, and hopefully you get out there soon and you keep staying safe.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Flash.
Thank you.
Yeah. See ya.
All right, Justin, who are you pushing back next, or are we going to Amleto?
We're going to go to Amleto, but Matt McNeil is going to hop on, so we are going to go a little bit longer than 9:30.
My friend, we finally get to chat.
But first off, back to Amleto.
Back to Amleto, the pride of Barquisimeto.
It's about time.
Yeah, man, I can't believe they're pushing you to the back, man.
Yeah, this is the other guy, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
I was 2 hours on the show. Come on.
Yeah, come on, man.
Man, do I feel like a piece of trash right now, Amleto? I apologize. My Lord.
Well, listen, man, in Venezuela, after you work 2 hours in Venezuela, you get a raise.
If I was on Amleto's team and he kept pushing him back, he would be making me run miles probably. Push-ups.
Punishment.
So we had AJ Johnson before, and I asked him if he could keep up with you in your routine, and he goes, in the gym, not a problem. Running, no chance. So, Chucky, you had a question for Amleto.
I do. And and not trying to throw you under the bus. I don't even know how many viewers we have on right now, but I am really curious how tough was the decision to take Ildemaro over Andres? Because I know you had to be thinking about Andres too, right?
Yes, I was. It was tough decision, but at the same time, uh, I know Ildemaro since he was like 3 years old. When I was practicing on the lanes, he would be throwing bowling balls next to me, and then he grew up practically, in the same hometown.
Gotcha.
I know him. He's, I've been like his mentor somehow, and we really get along well. He understands my philosophy, as when you're gonna choose a team, what I like the team to do, and he respects that. And at the same time, the experience that we have bowling together for Team Venezuela has been great. I mean, we won so many gold medals, and I tell you, if he's, I can say Ildemaro's gotta be in the top 5 players, best team players in all Latin America and probably Europe, as far as like the chemistry and he just bowls so much better as a team player. So that's the reason why. And then I said, we need a little Spanish flavor. So I know we're gonna be screaming a lot in Spanish when we're there. So
absolutely.
And at the same time, today is his birthday, so that was his birthday present too.
Oh, that's a nice birthday present.
Oh yeah.
I had picked Andres, that he would be your pick, and I was like, yeah, Andres I think will be his pick, and I know you have a great relationship with Ildemaro. I mean, that's and Ildemaro is a great player, and not only is he a great player, he's a great human being.
Yes.
But so is Andres. So I knew that had to be a little bit of a tough decision, and trying to figure that out. But you went with familiarity and people that you've spent a lot of time with, more time.
Well, yes. I mean, I know when I talk to Ildemaro, and it's like it's a lot easier. Let's say conversation, and he's gonna understand where I'm coming from, and he's got a lot of knowledge on the lanes. He really does. I mean, I think he knows more than when he put it into practice. Sometimes he just have a little doubt of himself, but he's really good. So I don't think it's gonna be. If you see the top 75, and we talk about it before, and that's why I say, okay, give me an idea. Put your top 20. I want to see how do we see things the same or not. And obviously a lot of players I don't know. I know like a guy like Greg Young, he's a really good player here, but I don't know him. I haven't really seen him like behind and watching bowl, and I feel uncomfortable picking somebody that I don't know. Richard Tees, he was in my option, but my first option was Matt McNeil. And when they took him, it was gonna be Matt Ogle. And when they took him, I said, okay. And I started looking and really analyzing. And I said, Richard Tees, and he's a great in Europe, and he's been bowling really good. And I bowled with him. I don't know how many times we bowled in the same pair for whatever reason. And he's a fighter. He always has a smile on his face. He's never giving up. And to me, that means a lot. And he's a team player.
So, and Leto, one of the guys that was your guy, Matt McNeil, is actually in the studio, and we're going to bring him on.
And there he is.
Matty Ice.
Matt McNeil.
Guys, am I coming out? Is my audio good?
Yep.
It's all right.
I had my 1991 PBA press guide ready. And, just in case I happen to be drafted by Amleto, I was ready to go. I was brushing up on Amleto's stats. So, El Hombre, I'm sorry it didn't work out, man. But as the Cleveland Indians say, there's always next year.
Of course.
Wow. The shots have been.
I'm gonna miss you.
Oh, my friend, yeah. But you know what? I'm so happy just to get drafted and to be in the conversation with so many amazing PBA Tour players that are out there every week. And I only bowled the World Series, the doubles, and the Indianapolis event this year, and I only bowled 2 events in the previous season. So really just such an honor to be selected, and especially by Del Ballard. He was a guy that, like Amleto, I grew up just absolutely idolizing, just so much passion and so much touch. And he was such an artist on the lanes. And, to watch guys like Del and Amleto, for me growing up, was so inspiring, and really taught me how to be a shot maker and make spares and be versatile on the lanes. And so you guys were such big influences for me. So I'm just happy to be a part of the league.
Well deserved, man. And there's not many.
Congratulations.
There's not many people that are like Matt McNeil out there. Just a historian and just a great guy. Well deserved, a phenomenal player. So even though I've only beat you in trivia, Matt, congratulations, and honestly, wish you all the best of success in the league this year. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I do. But no, well deserved. This guy is a class act all around. He's a wonderful human being.
Yes, he is.
And he's also a Bowl4Life ambassador too. So that's a big deal for us. Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Chuck. And it's just such an honor to be representing Bowl4Life on the lanes. And you guys do so much great for the sport of bowling. And it's an honor for me to be connected with you guys. And Chuck, obviously, the friendship and relationship that we've had for, the last, we're starting to go back a little bit now, but that's something I always will cherish, and I'm just glad we get to see each other out on tour now, and we're both on the same side of the settee.
That's right. No, I enjoy it, buddy. I enjoy it.
All right, Matt, we will talk to you a little bit later, and we will definitely be in touch. We might have a trivia rematch sometime down the road in the future between you and Mr. Mike Val.
Hey, that sounds great. I got a lot of these press guides. So, Mike, I'm coming after you.
The door is always open, and I will be making it out to Utah eventually. And who's on the back of that press guide? I saw some mullets on the back. Were there mullets?
It's actually Ron Palumbi and Dave Ferraro.
There's right there.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there's a good shot of them.
Yes.
I mean, this was when bowling was bowling. It was pretty cool to grow up in that era.
What year is that?
This is the 91 press guide.
91.
And Amleto, man, that hair.
God, you look like a model on the front of that book.
That was the
look at that
haircut I ever had.
That was the what?
The worst I ever had. I mean,
Matt, we had Walter Ray on before, and I said, how great, and I'm going to ask this to you too. How great would it have been if the PBA League was in existence in the 80s and the 90s with all the guys that bowled in your generation when you were on tour? I mean, how great would that have been?
Man, that's a good question. I mean, it would have been really, really good, because back then, I think, I think we have a little more talent today, of course, but I think back then the players that were bowling at the top, I mean, it would have been like almost like when Don Carter and all those guys from the past, the bowling team events, they were great. But it's hard to say how it would have been. I mean, I think it would have been great, but it's really hard to say. It is what it is right now. And I think the PBA League is we need to have this all the time.
Absolutely. Like, can you imagine Bob Vespi and Marshall getting into it in a team?
Oh, it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome.
Yes,
I will tell you though, I think it would have been even better than it is now, because so many of the guys in the 80s and 90s were more household names than we have now. Like if you look at our sport today, we have one household name. In all reality, we have one household name in our sport right now. And back then, we had many household names. people that were on the tips of people's tongue all the time, because it was a different time, right? Bowling was more important to the average person in life then than it is today. So that you just, people raced home to go watch bowling before Wild World of Sports. They raced home to watch it on Saturdays. And so we had household names. So Mike, I think it's a great question. And I really believe we can't go back and have it. It would be unbelievable to have, but it would be so cool. It would just have been one of the neatest things ever.
And there were a lot of rivalries back then too. You would have, if you
Sure there were.
I mean, you had, Roth and all his guys, Roth and Marshall. Even into the 90s, Leto had guys. You bring Peterson into the mix. You had such a personality. It would have been phenomenal to have that back in the day.
Oh, absolutely.
I think the reason talking about the PBA League back then compared to now, even though it has a lot of success, the PBA League today, I can see why it would be more successful back then because of the people. I mean, a lot of more people watching. Like you said, like you couldn't wait until Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock to turn on the TV and see who make the show. And the passion behind the lanes for the people that were watching us bowling, it was unbelievable. You couldn't walk into the bowling center without bumping into each other. And, and it was amazing. I think that is the reason. I think
I'll never forget. They used to have to. The police had to let people in a few at a time, especially in places like Erie. Like Erie was unbelievable. You couldn't. You were in there, and when someone left, they let someone else in. It was you couldn't get in the place.
Incredible, yes.
It absolutely incredible. Some of the most incredible fans I've ever seen anywhere were in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So,
well, Chuck, I always loved on those shows. You always had everybody was like always in their Sunday best.
Yeah.
Like they were dressed, and you always had you had like, especially in the front couple rows, you had like local mayors, city council members. Then you even had politicians or famous sports stars from other sports. I mean, I remember a show they clipped over and Ben Hogan was sitting there.
Yeah.
I mean, that was so cool to see that. And as a kid, we get done with junior league, and I had to go up and down the concourse of a 24-lane bowling center. I had to wipe down countertops, empty ashtrays, because you could still smoke during YABA youth leagues back then. and then I'd fill up a cup of soda and turn on ABC. And that's how I spent my Saturday afternoons. And it was just, you were always so excited to see who was on the show.
And if it was a surprise was we didn't have the internet. There was no PBA.com back then.
Right.
When we grew up.
Yeah.
So it was just a blind package. And that was the best.
Well, some good bowling markets would actually have, on Saturday morning, it would list the top 5 for the TV show that were going to be on that day. But many markets didn't cover bowling at all. Del Warren and Joe Firpo and Jimmy Keith and Ron Dixon, we all grew up in this bowling center down in Lantana, Florida. And they used to actually have pizza for the kids and to keep them there after league, after junior league. So they'd stay and they'd watch the show, and it was a big deal to get, to have the kids watching the shows.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I just got some insight. My mom actually just texted me for like the 87th time during the show.
She's awesome, by the way.
Yeah. Well, it's the 87th. Maybe 88's coming.
Okay.
She thinks that it would be a really cool idea. And we mentioned earlier on the show having a battle of the sexes kind of thing where we got the winning team of the PBA League versus the top 5 women, but also having a Legends team in the PBA League.
Oh,
that would be good.
Would be another one. Walter Ray and Leto, Parker.
We can just pick the 5 legends from Brunswick.
I mean, yeah.
But I
We don't
mean,
need anyone else.
but the problem is you really wouldn't want to leave Pete out or Norm.
No, you can't.
You don't want to leave those guys out.
That's
so
true.
so we'd have to
No,
we'd
you
have
can't,
to unload
which is-
Learn and somebody else, and let Weber and Duke in there somehow. Have to figure it out.
Those guys, what have they done?
Yeah, it wouldn't be any fun to not have Weber and Duke on a Legends team like
And
that,
then,
right?
Oh yeah.
And you forget Voss. You can't forget BV either.
Yeah, I mean Voss. There's some guys.
Some good guys, yes.
You could almost have an exhibition match of the top 10 from the PBA 50 tour going at it.
Yeah.
With two different teams. That'd be something pretty good too.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, where's that press guide, Matt? I have a question for you.
Sure.
Where's that press guide? Can you put that press guide up again?
Yeah.
Amleto, you don't like the hair in that one, right?
No.
So what was the best Amleto hairdo on tour then? Was it the ponytail Amleto? Was it the longer hair Amleto? What is it?
It was the longer hair when I used the headband.
Yes, the headband. That's when you were with Track. You were throwing all those. Yeah, you were throwing like the Heat and
All right.
the Champ.
The freak out.
Yeah, the Champ, the Sky Blue Champ.
You won with an Inferno with that headband on too in Riviera.
No, I didn't have the headband. The headband in that show. No.
All right.
Actually, I watched it the other day. No, I didn't have it. That was 2005. I won with the Inferno. Actually, there were 2 Inferno. One on the right lane, one on the left lane.
You beat Traber in that show with Riviera, right?
Yeah.
I like that, Matt, don't you?
Yeah, it was great. Actually,
I'm not surprised Traber could have thrown one much worse than that one he threw for the cheese there. That wasn't his best.
No, but you know what? The funny thing about that show is like I leave I know if I get 9 and spare, he doesn't have a chance, and I leave the 7-10 in the pocket, and I come back from the approach trying to hold on my emotion, trying to don't get really mad, and then I scream like a really bad word in Spanish, and you can hear loud on TV, and then Randy goes, "Well, I know it's not good what he said, but I can't translate it right now." Something like that. It was, it's memorable, that show.
That's outstanding.
Because it wasn't, I tried to hold on my emotions to don't say anything, but it was impossible. Now I gave him the chance to strike out and beat me by 1 pen when I really bowled much better than him the whole game. So, but like I said before, you need to make a decision in your mind. And I said, you know what? It's okay. You're gonna win anyway. I put that in my mind, like that's the way it's going to be, and I won. So you need to make those decisions. You need to mark your words, because what you say has a lot of power. Okay, and when you say something, it has to be like it is what you're saying right now. You have to believe it.
Live in the moment, right?
Yes.
One of the greatest things ever, and I love that you just said you have to say it.
Yeah.
Like you don't just think it. You say, I'm going to win anyway. You
Right.
say it.
Yeah.
Johnny Petraglia told me that when he gets ready to throw a big shot, like when he doubled in the 10th to win in the 6th decade, his mindset was, in my mind, I've already struck. Now I just have to let the ball go now, so the people behind me know that I've struck.
Perfect.
I've already done it.
Yeah.
And that's how his mindset was, and that's how he thought things through. And hey, everybody's different, but
right. But it's a great strategy, though.
Yeah.
Because that's when you say mental toughness right there.
Yep.
And Mileto, what was the year you won at the boat when they were just so disgusting? 89?
1988.
88.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, one of the things that happened in that show, I lost already like so many times, right? I won in Japan in 87. That was my first title. Then when I go there, I want to win in the US. And I started that tournament with I was like in 213th place after my first 8 games. They were really, really bad. I bowled really well, but I didn't score well. So to make the long story short, I go to the show, and so many shows that I went before that that the lanes are not even close to what we bowled during the whole week. I mean, not even close. So I said, okay, you know, being inexperienced, I said, most of the time you go to the show, okay, I'm going to throw the ball well. I'm going to bowl as I did the whole week. That's your strategy, right? What are you going to do? So I start seeing things happening. You start saying, okay, well, I think it's me now. But thinking that it was me, I finished 7 times second, 13 shows without a title. And when I go to that show, I said, you know what? I won my first game with 163 against Gitlintin to 157. And I know, I said to myself, if you keep throwing the ball like that, you have no chance. Okay. So I said, I'm going to throw the ball straight, just like I throw my 10 pen, but I'm going to move 15 balls right, shiny black U dot, straight up 15, get
Never
9
forget
pens,
it.
get 9 pen, pick it up. That's what you're going to do. I know you're going to do a lot better than 163. And I have a chance to win. And that's how I won. I mean, I started throwing really bullets. I mean, no knee bend, no nothing, just
You threw the high hard one on that one.
Yes, I did. And you know, that's something that I learned. I said, I have to risk it. You have to risk when you already lost so many times, you know, because you try to bowl your A game. I said, I'm going to do something different. I don't want to lose this way. And, but yeah, and the average for the show was 187.
That's incredible. That's incredible. So,
and when you go back and look at that show, it was the worst you've ever looked in your life throwing a bowling ball. Like you're standing up on every shot.
Yeah.
You know, no knee bend. You're popping up out of every shot and just throwing the heater at the 1-3, and you won.
But actually, like that blended the whole lane by doing that. Shiny ball.
Who did you bowl for the title?
Mark Roth, my idol.
Roth, right? Roth, yeah. So I thought it was Roth.
He must have been loving life on that show.
No, he was.
So listen, I want to go back to the hair really quick, Amleto, if we could.
There you go.
There he is.
That's it.
That's it. I mean, look, in my opinion, best hair on tour. Forget Voss. I mean, you have the best hair on tour. Let's just call spade a spade. That's you, but it's you.
I don't know, Mike. I mean, Mark Williams for a time had that beautiful, beautiful dome.
I mean, know how much hairspray did he use? You know, one of the reasons, this is honest the truth. One of the reasons why I use the headband is because, number one, I was against hairspray. That's ugly. That's just absolutely. And most of the soccer players, they use long hair and they use a headband just like that. And that's why I did it. I always wanted to look different. I never wanted to look in the mirror looking the same thing, the same haircut, the same thing. Yeah, I wanted to be different always. And that's why it came up, you know.
You are amazing. And my wife is sitting on the couch. She's saying, Amleto looked really good back in the day. He's cute. So there you go.
He still looks pretty good.
He is,
we were on the Bowler X match game show the other day, and one of the questions was who's the best looking PBA player or something of all time or something like that. And if you talk to Lee Sant's wife, Krista, it's Amleto Monticelli. She has piles of pictures of you.
No kidding.
Oh yeah. It's Amleto Monticelli. So you can't argue with it. He's definitely the pretty boy of the tour. Even at 50 and a little change.
Almost 60.
And you couldn't even tell. You are in like such great shape. I would love to get your workout routine.
No, you don't.
No, Mike. This is an honest to God true story. We're at South Point in 2009, bowling the Masters at the Cashman Center.
Okay.
And the 2 weeks before that, they ran the Tat and then they ran the High Roller and the Mini. So this was my third week out there, and I'm pretty beat up. So I'm sitting in the hot tub in the spa, and I see Amleto come in the locker room, and we got to go bowl afternoon squad. And Amleto's, he's got the towel, and I'm like, hey, El Hombre, what? Did you go just get loose out there? Yeah, just do a little weights or run a little bit. He goes, oh no, my friend, I had a light day. I ran 6 miles. And honest to God's truth, that's what he told me. And I think my jaw dropped to the floor because I'm like, who runs 6 miles before a block? I'm like,
that was something I've done all my life.
I know.
It's just, to me, working out before I bowl is the energy. It creates a happiness and like an excitement into me. It's like the endorphins that you get out of it, and that's why I do it. It's more like a routine that I need to do. I say, okay, after I do that, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Love it. Well, I'm still on that routine.
When you put that into your mind and you believe it, that's what it is.
Mike, you don't need that routine. We would like you to live.
You may say that, Chuck. Others may not.
Well, your wife may not, but we want you to live. We still like you. So
thank you, guys. I appreciate it, Matt. Awesome job. Thanks for the time tonight. Glad to finally speak to you face to face, and we will we'll be in touch soon, my friend. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks so much, guys.
Take care, Matt. Stay safe.
All right.
And then there were 4. So I'm going to email you. I want that workout routine. No
problem. I can help you on that.
I'm going to send you a message on Facebook, and you're going to have to tell me. I'm going to tell you what I want to do, and you're going to help me out.
So
Chuck, why don't you give him my phone number? You got my phone number. Give it to me, and
we'll do that afterwards. And I'll keep that away from the wife, though. I don't need her talking to you, Amleto.
So one last story about Amleto. It actually happened today, before we bring on our last guest for the night. So we're on the phone, and we're talking about these healthy pancakes that Amleto makes. And mom's on speaker, and she goes, send me the ingredients. So I got to pull it up. I'm not kidding you. He sends me a picture of all the ingredients.
No, what did you make, Amleto? What is this?
Pancakes.
Okay, pancakes. Okay. All right, nothing wrong with pancakes.
It's very different, though. Very different.
When he sent the ingredients, if you can see that, that's what he sent me.
I see hemp, a banana.
Hemp. This is the mix of pancakes. It's a keto. It's keto pancakes, they call it. You use like egg whites, full eggs, chia.
Chia is good.
Yeah, one
so
banana.
He actually didn't respond with the actual amount of ingredients that you're supposed to put in until 5 or 10 minutes after. You did. You sent it. But we're sitting there like, I'm like, Mom, Amleto just sent me a picture of the ingredients. A actual picture of what goes in there.
Yeah, you put all that in the blender, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Just throw it in the blender.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? I mean, you asked for an answer, a question, you got an answer. That's what
you got it.
All right. All right. Thanks, Amleto, for your time. It was a really fun time.
Awesome time. We would have to get you on our show maybe eventually in the future. Thank you very much.
Anytime, Mike. Anytime, Justin. Nice
And
to meet you.
Amleto, I'm going to reach out to you.
Please do. He's got my phone number. Seriously.
Thank you very much, Amleto. Talk to you,
guys.
All right. Thanks, Amleto.
See you, brother.
See you, my friend. Have a good night, guys.
The legend, Amleto Monicelli.
All right, and we got one more guest tonight before we wrap up our show, and we're working on 3.5 hours here. So, for those of you who are still watching, thank you. We are going to bring on our last guest of the night, Ryan Simonelli. Ryan, what's up, my guy?
Simbaga.
How are you, Ryan? So, going back to Portland, one of your favorite places.
That's right.
So, there's one of Chucky was high on you tonight. So, Chuck, I want to let you take the floor here.
Well, I mean, when we did our draft, I mean, Ryan was my first pick. So, you know, I get it that it's hard. And the reality is he could have been the first pick for Marshall, and then they could have taken Sean or however they wanted to do it. But, I mean, without a question, he's on Marshall's team. He's got that energy that Marshall likes. I think Marshall did a good job. I think he did a good job. Zeke was a surprise. But Zeke's a good bowler.
Yeah,
There's no question Zeke can bowl.
we definitely. It was a team thing. I was pleasantly surprised at how much input they wanted to build that team, and when you had me and Dick after Sean, I loved that. We all agreed on Dick, and when it finally came back around to us, we were like, you know what? We already got a lot of fire on the team. That's kind of where it seems like we're trying to go with this. Let's keep with it. And Chris Sloan, obviously, very fiery, and he's not scared to throw it. So he was definitely on the radar. It was him and a couple others, and the other ones got grabbed up. So they kind of made our choice for us, and we just scooped him up. And once we had him, we said, you know what? Well, Zeke bowled doubles in Portland with Dick, made a great run, loved the atmosphere. We knew it. We know he can perform in that building. He rooms with Sloan, and I roomed with him a bunch over this course in the house with a bunch of the guys as well. So the chemistry there, it just made total sense to grab him as our fifth.
Yeah, it's a great pick. I mean, it really took me by surprise. I think it took all of us by surprise. But it's a great pick.
It took me by surprise too. I texted him and I said, "Hey man, are you watching?" He said, "No, he was out for dinner or something." I'm like, "Yeah, it's too bad you're not watching." Because he's like, "Nah, you're punking me." I'm like, "No, for real, bro. We're about to take you." He about lost his mind.
My son sent me a text at 8:34. He goes, "Zeke Bate is my sleeper to get into this pick at some in the picks at some point. Zeke Bate's my pick." And Mike also said it too. Mike said Zeke Bate is his sleeper, one of his sleeper picks. And I was really surprised that, and listen, the guy's no joke. I mean, the guy's won an Eagle.
Yep.
The guy's won an Eagle. He's no joke. The guy can bowl.
What we wanted chemistry, we wanted fire, and we wanted guys that ain't afraid to throw it. And when it came to the formula of all three of those things together, those were our best two choices.
And it totally makes sense. Absolutely does.
Yeah, we're pretty stoked about the team we were able to build from scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely pretty good.
I think both expansion teams did really well. I mean, really, really, really well.
They did a good job. Marshall and Sean got us in on a call, and we were, as we picked, we added guys, and everyone had input. It was really well done, and I give a lot of respect to the guys making those picks and doing them drafts in the other sports now, because a lot of back and forth in a very short amount of time. It's not easy to do that.
Right. Sure. Yeah. Well, I think Amleto did a good job too. I really do. I think both teams did really well. Amleto got some young guys for the future.
Yep.
He got the under. I don't think he's got anybody over 27 out of his first three picks. They're all youngsters, and obviously you guys. I mean, with you, Rash, and Dick Allen, that's a pretty damn good three.
That's a great core, considering we were all quote unquote throwaways.
Well, throwaways because of the limit of players you can keep.
Obviously,
So,
yes, yeah. Like I said, it's
Timmy Mac's team's going to be damn stout again, though, bro.
Yeah, they sure.
Oh.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Packy ain't Ryan Simonelli, but there's enough similarities in the way you two approach things, and
yeah, he definitely. It seemed like he filled the spots.
He ain't scared
with very similar players as
Absolutely.
he lost for sure.
Yeah,
and obviously, listen, if he could have kept the five of you, he would have kept the five of you. I'm sure
he did everything he could.
Yeah.
Things behind the scenes as well. He's trying to make trades, and unfortunately for him, and honestly, even though I'm thrilled with the team I'm on, that team, that's all I know. It's all I remember. It's been 5 years, and we're the defending champs. So yeah, I would have loved to be back with them.
Sure.
I think that's a given. I think anybody would want to do that. So yeah, it's just kind of unfortunate it didn't work out that way. But at the same time, we got some pretty good teams, and it's going to be fun either way.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Justin.
So
up there.
Who do you think besides you guys is the toughest team? Do you think it's Portland still?
Yeah, I think so. Norm always does a good job. I like Dallas. Yeah, I think I have to stick with Portland. I think Portland's got the best team still.
Yeah, Portland and Dallas are definitely my top two.
Yeah, they're both good. They're both good, man.
All right.
See it.
Thanks, Ryan, for your time. We hate to cut you short, but we've been on for
almost
quite some time.
Yeah.
So we're gonna wrap up our show here very shortly. Thanks, Ryan, for your time, and best of luck this year.
Thanks, bud.
Thanks, brother. Give the wife a squeeze, will you?
Will do.
Ryan Simonelli. ladies and gentlemen.
Thank
Take
you.
care, Ryan. So, Justin, I can't say anything else. I think this was an absolute great time tonight. Chuck,
we
back up.
We got a lot, and there's one thing that I want to do one last time is actually post the draft board. Someone actually asked for this, so we're gonna go over the teams one more time, and then wrap up our show. So, Las Vegas has Francois Lavoie, Andrew Anderson, AJ Johnson, Richie Teese, and Ildemar Ruiz. Brew City Ballers by Marshall Holman has Sean Rash, Ryan Simonelli, Dick Allen, Chris Sloan, and Zeke Bate. Philadelphia Hitmen, coached by Jason Couch, has Dom Barrett, Tom Smallwood, Sean Maldonado, Jason Sterner, and Matt Ogle. Brooklyn Styles by Johnny Petraglia has Walter Ray Williams Jr., Brad Angelo, Rhino Page, BJ Moore, and Thomas Larson. Motown Muscle, coached by Del Ballard, has EJ Tackett, Anthony Simonson, Josh Blanchard, Mitch Hupe, and Matt McNeil. Silver Lake Adam Splitters, coached by Mark Baker, has Chris Barnes, Jesper Svensson, Tom Doherty, Chris Vi, and AJ Chapman, the anti-Barnes team, as we have referred to it multiple times tonight. NYC WTT Kingpins, coached by Carolyn Dorn Ballard, has Pete Weber, Marshall Kent, Kyle Sherman, Darren Tang, and Oscar Palermo. The Dallas Strikers, coached by a player, Norm Duke, has, well, obviously Norm Duke, Tommy Jones, Bill O'Neill, Brad Miller, and Nick Pate. LAX, coached by Andrew Kane, has Jason Belmonte, Jacob Buttriff, Stu Williams, Patrick Gerard, and Anthony Larvery Spar. And what we think is going to be the team to beat the defending champions, the Portland Lumberjacks, coached by Tim Mack, Wes Malott, Kyle Troop, Chris Prather, Martin Larson, and Packy Hanrahan. Guys, this was a fun time. This was definitely our best show by a mile and a half. Thank you to those of you who are still on.
Yes.
And be sure to tune in on Tuesday as we talk with Portland Lumberjack, Packy Hanrahan, and BuddiesProShop.com owner Chris Forey.
And one more time, Chuck, plug the website, Bowl4Life. Let everybody else really quick, let everybody know where we can find all the stuff for the foundation.
Bowl4Life.com and the Bowl4Life page on Facebook. Please go like the page. We're still looking for sponsors, and the more likes we have, the more people want to be part of us. And I thank you guys for having me on tonight. And I had an absolute ball.
We will get you on as a regular, as a spot on our show soon, Chuck. That is a definite. And
yes.
I enjoyed it very much. Thank you guys for having me.
You're the best, Chuck. And like I said, when you're ready for your stuff down in Halloween, give me a holler. Don't forget, all hands on deck to help you out.
You got it.
It definitely did not feel like 3.5 hours until we got to the 3 hour mark.
No. I'll tell you what, Justin, we could have sat with Monticelli for another hour and just.
Oh, I know. That's crazy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try his workout regimen, and
I already sent you his info.
That's a cell number you gave me?
Yep.
Oh, he's gonna get a message tomorrow morning.
And his email too.
Yep, I got it. Thank you very much. And when you don't hear from me from about a month, Chuck, you know why. I'm in the ground because of Amleto.
Yeah, I hope not.
Me too.
All right, guys.
Thank you very much, Chuck.
All right, so we're going to wrap up our show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into Live with the PBA Draft presented by Bowl4Life. Thanks, Chuck Gardner, for joining us. Thanks to my partner, Mike Val. I'm Justin Bohn, and this is the Bohn and Zano Zone, where we are always on the lanes, off the charts, and on the mic. Take care, everybody.
Good
Stay safe.
night, everybody.